Heating, cooling, and insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Here's another update on protests sweeping across Iran. Overnight, major cities were filled once again with thousands of anti-government demonstrators. More videos are starting to pour in from Tehran, Mashhad, and Bandar Abbas. Also, concerning reports of security forces continuing to open fire on civilians in the streets and hospitals that are reportedly overwhelmed with incoming casualties. It is day 3 of the internet blackout in Iran, making it extremely difficult to get new information, but we do expect to gather more updates as the day continues.
That's Trey Yanks reporting the situation unfolding over the weekend, but really building up not just from the recent weeks, but from a lot longer than that in Iran. The people have had enough, and they are showing up to say so. And it is really something to behold. It's kind of a weird, I constantly think to myself, like, what if I were to, I don't know, pick a time frame 10 years ago, rip myself out and just get a glimpse of what January 2026 would look like. And I'd be sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, Donald Trump is the president again. Oh my gosh, he went in and got Maduro out of Venezuela. The people of Iran are revolting against their government after last year, within months of being inaugurated as the second term president, Donald Trump goes in and laser beams the Iranian nuclear facilities out of existence across the entire country. There's a lot going on. Oh, and we're negotiating peace in the Middle East to some extent. Peace through prosperity is almost kind of the way I have it in my head, trying to focus on, key in on these different areas, these different warring, battling countries that over the course of time have always battled for something. It's just kind of you wake up and you do it. Prosperity, like the idea that somebody coming in this instance, Donald Trump comes in and says, you know, what if we actually all pursued a world in front of us that involved prosperity for everyone? Like maybe the be-all, end-all success here isn't the death of your enemy, because it seems as though that is millennia in the making and still nowhere near solved. I had the countdown to the inauguration on my phone from way back when, and I never took it off. So I have this countdown, which is now a count up of how many days President Trump has been in office. In 357 days, this man has gotten a few things done. And there are promises that he made the American people in his campaign for his second term, both times. But boy, what a refined and drilled down mission that Donald Trump has been able to set out when he had 4 years to ruminate over what he would do with the second term in his presidency, with the strength of all of the people who had served with him in his first term, who learned so many lessons on the job. During that campaign, the thought was always, man, if we got in there, think of the things we could do. And they've been doing them. If you see in, on your social media feeds or whatever, you had anyone come up to you and go, is this really what you voted for? I mean, in many cases, I'm trying to think of anywhere the answer is, oh my gosh, no, I had no idea. Boy, did I make a mistake. Do those people exist? Maybe. But those are people who were running at full speed away from Kamala Harris and whatever it was that the Democrats were doing, running the whole time with their head looking over their shoulder at what the Democrat Party was doing, going, I can't believe this. They turn around and they see Donald Trump for a minute and they're like, okay, fine. I got to stop what's going on over here. They support Donald Trump. They vote for him. And then someone goes, is this what you voted for? And it's like, no, I didn't vote for overt and full force conservatism. That's not really what I voted for. I wanted to get the crazy lady away from the White House. And, checkmate on that one. I don't know. I'm always open and honest with you. I am not a foreign policy wonk. I listen to the likes of Brian Kilmeade, of course, who is on right before for IM and the experts that we have come on. Jim Carafano, Fred Fleitz was on with us last week. We've had a lot of good relationships with foreign policy folks who are able to come calm things down. Like even the tone of Jim Talon's voice just makes me feel calmer when you listen to the former senator from Missouri. But the magnitude of what is happening on a global scale right now, Venezuela is still a huge story, folks. It's just not the story of the day right now because the Iranian protests have set in. On the domestic home front, Minneapolis has layers upon layers of top shelf, huge stories and headlines that are coming out of how they operate their state, what they're willing to do to sustain the fraud that has perpetuated, I think, the entirety of the Minnesota state government. And now you've got protests once again. We're back to the Minnesota-Minneapolis protests, and we have a death. Rachel Good, who this all kind of unfolded during our show last week. Rachel Good in her red SUV. We said this on the air. Go back and roll the tape, folks. I said, before we know what happened, let's just understand that without any facts on the table, some things could be true. We all know what we think happened here. Before we see any details, before we know the names of the people involved, before we know the details of the context surrounding the entire situation, every one of us has a pretty good idea of what's going on. And the truth of the matter is, even if we're on completely separate sides of this issue, we already know what happened. That's just the way we walk into these stories these days. Facts don't matter. Truth doesn't matter because we now have the next chapter that fortifies the narrative that we woke up with this morning, that we'll go to bed with tonight, and we'll wash, rinse, repeat, and do it again the next day. And those narratives are from, if you're on the right side of the aisle, our side of the aisle, you know, the snap judgment that you're going to make before you have the details is that this protester was agitating. She was out there causing trouble. She attacked the ICE officer, and he reacted to protect himself and those of which he is serving. That's the rash snap judgment that you have if you are believing in the mission of ICE in Minneapolis and in Minnesota and actually across the country. That's just what your assumption is going to be, and then you can wait for the facts to bear out. The other side, of course, is going to say that an ICE agent that has no business in Minnesota whatsoever gunned down an innocent protester exercising her First Amendment right to speech, and we have yet another incident where law enforcement is using the power, the overpower of their force to end the life, the voice of somebody who is out there just trying to stand up for good. This is what we said before we had any details. We look up at our TV. The news is reporting that there is an officer-involved shooting in Minneapolis involving a protester. That's what we know. Those are the facts that we know, but we all know exactly where this is going. And then you have Mayor Jacob Frey come out in a filthy, curse-ridden tirade, say, ICE murdered this woman. These are all stories that are being fluffed up, being inflamed, maybe literally, so that we talk about them, so that they become the narrative. The story of Minneapolis, Minnesota in January 2026, they want it to be the story of Rachel Good. If the politicos who are involved on the left can do anything successful in this moment politically, it's to make the entirety of what you see when you think Minnesota right now is to be Rachel Good. That's what they are working hard on doing, and I don't know that they're going to be as successful this time around as they were the last time. Jonathan Ross, that's a name you might want to know. That's the ICE agent that was involved. Go look at his history, his resume of service. He's a party in this equation, this story that is becoming bigger and bigger, of course, as time goes on. But in the meantime, while this is being the surface level story, you have enormous amount of fraud, deception, lies, theft that is taking place in Minnesota. And the best thing that they can do to run cover for themselves right now is this story. The loss of life, Rachel Good's life, is a tragic loss of life. She is a victim, but she's not a victim of Jonathan Ross. Rachel Good is not a victim of the gun in the hand of Jonathan Ross. Rachel Good is a victim of a political movement that values her life so little that they can now use it to their own benefit, amplify it, change the course of her life to meet her untimely death in a moment where we now have the crisis that we will not let go to waste. We are using their words to explain what we're seeing right now. They poke, they prod, they inflame, and it's all under an entire veil of deception. ICE has the authority to be in Minnesota doing what Minnesota is doing. Full stop. If you don't like it, in America, you get to not like it. In America, you get to tell people publicly that you hate what your government is doing, that you hate what ICE is doing. You do not get to get in your vehicle and drive at the people with legal authority to be there to enforce the law. You do not get to intimidate and threaten the lives of our law enforcement officers who are there to protect and serve, who lay their life on the ground every single day that they put the uniform, kiss their spouses goodbye, wave to their children goodbye, and say, I'll see you tonight for dinner, or I'll see you this morning for breakfast. She does not have the right to do that. And the fact that she thought she did makes her a victim of those who saw her life so invaluable that they would sacrifice it, lay it on the line for a political movement that, I'm just going to be honest with you, this is going to be fleeting. This moment in time, this inflamed protest that we're going to see in Minnesota, it is not going to outlast what will be uncovered in Minnesota. With the Trump administration, what all of the different people, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, he's involved. Everybody is looking at Minnesota. And these crimes that they're looking to cover up right now with distraction, it's not going to work. It's not going to work this time. And the story that comes out of Minnesota, every other state across our great union is going to look and say, now do our state. Please come to our state. I'd like to know if Illinois is doing this. Is Missouri doing this? We would like to see. Can you come do this one next? I actually think Illinois is probably high on the list. We have to start understanding the humanity that is involved in these issues in a way that the political movements never have addressed. Rachel Good's life mattered, and they took advantage of her. The far left, lunatic, progressive left took advantage of Rachel Good, sacrificed her life for a distraction. And it's a tragedy. It's a full-on tragedy. And I think that we can be on our side knowing the reality of the situation, the facts and truth of the situation. We can look at that right now and acknowledge that she shouldn't have had to die for this. She should be out there peacefully protesting right now, having her voice be heard in a way that does align with the First Amendment. She should be out there right now today, being angry as she wants to be in a peaceful way, because she has the facts of the matter, not because she was lied to, not because she was deceived. It's a great tragedy, and we have to make sure that the next person out there, that they get an opportunity to be encountered with the truth in a way that they are going to be willing to pause and listen to. We'll have to try to challenge ourselves to do that. When we come back, I'm excited to have Katie Pavlich on the show with us. Katie Pavlich tonight, primetime host on News Nation. She's got a new show, and we're going to talk about that coming up. She's starting next Monday. When we come back, we're going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about Minnesota with Katie Pavlich next.
Packing all her things and she'll be gone by noon. Well, I'm gonna miss her.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. If you have a foundational concern in your basement, if you have a foundational concern at work, and you know that you are on the track right now for something that could develop into something bigger, Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. That's where you need to go to learn about all of the service that Matt Hayes and this locally owned St. Louis business can provide for you. First and foremost, the trust that you're going to be able to get an assessment of what you're looking at, a fair assessment, an accurate assessment. Here's what you're dealing with right now. Put it off in 5 years. This is what you might be dealing with then. You can make an educated decision on how to address, to plan for, to finally fix this basement problem once and for all. The wet season is going to be upon us. Get that wet basement fixed with Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair now. Get on the schedule by calling 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Home Shield Foundation Repair is reliable. They are experienced. They are the best. And we're very excited to partner with them here on the Annie Fry Show. 314-271-9900, HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Yesterday, Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called. They want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. Iran wants to negotiate. Yes. We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting. But a meeting is being set up. Iran called. They want to negotiate. Thank you.
That's President Trump from Air Force One saying that over the weekend, Iran is interested in talking. Now, that's a pretty incredible development as well. So we will continue to watch and see how these protests in Iran continue to affect their relationship, of course, within their country, but also on the global scale. Let's get our guest on. Katie Pavlich joins us. It's so exciting to have you here, Katie, with us, the new primetime host of Katie Pavlich Tonight on News Nation, weeknights here in Central Time at 9 p.m. Katie, welcome to the Annie Fry Show. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much, Annie. It's great to be on your show.
Well, it's an honor here on our part. I've watched you for a long time, very impressed with what you bring to the table, and I'm excited to see what that's going to mean at 9 o'clock on News Nation. Katie, I want to give you a very open-ended question and just give me your first thoughts on these developments over the weekend in Iran, watching the protesters. I've seen some of your posts on X highlighting some of what the women are doing there. It's pretty BA. You know, watching what they're willing to stand up and do. Just give us your thoughts on Iran at this moment in time.
Yeah, I don't typically smoke cigarettes, but when I do, it's to be like those amazing, brave Iranian women who are trying to change their country and have been for a very long time. As you mentioned and played the sound from Air Force One, President Trump has said that the leaders in Iran are interested in negotiating. That, you know, I'm not surprised given that they've seen what just happened with Maduro and, of course, President Trump's strike on their nuclear program last year in June. And he's made a number of threats over the last couple of weeks, and they're taking him seriously. Now, they better not be playing games either, just by trying to, get a lifeline from the United States as the regime, is about to be toppled from within. I mean, it's incredible to watch the footage that's been able to get out, which is limited because the government in Iran shut down all the internet. They're killing people by the thousands, not by the hundreds, as some people are reporting, but the thousands, burning government buildings, as you said, burning photos of the leadership there. So, they're on their last leg here trying to get their last breath. And so we'll see if the president takes action like he's been threatening to do, if they come to some kind of negotiated agreement. But the bottom line is the Iranian regime and the leadership, they haven't changed their stripes at all, which was a lot of people accepted was going to be the case even after the strike on the Iranian nuclear sites. So it's a precarious situation, but for President Trump, he's been very clear that if they don't stop killing people in the streets, that there may be some action taken by the U.S.
Is it appropriate for the United States to step in that moment if a government is murdering people in the streets, their own people? What's an appropriate reaction?
Well, according to the president, he thinks it would be appropriate. I think, there's obviously big questions about what would come next if there were to be some kind of regime change. I know that the president's been meeting with a number of leaders to see how that might work out who they could maybe help get into power if the regime were to be taken down finally. But it is in the interest of the United States to have a stable Iran, which has been the number one reason why the Middle East has been unstable since the 1980s. They've been funding all of the proxy terrorist groups that have attacked U.S. troops in the region, but also have murdered Americans. Let's not forget that Hezbollah, which is an Iranian proxy group before 9/11, had killed more Americans than any other terrorist organization in the world. The Hezbollah is also very active in Venezuela, trafficking drugs and setting up, terrorist hubs there. So all of it's very closely connected to a number of things happening in our hemisphere and, of course, over there. So as the president said, when he talked about Venezuela, and so did Marco Rubio, we need neighbors who are stable, but we also need the ability for a country thousands of miles away from our hemisphere not to be causing chaos that requires us to be more involved.
Is this moment in time, we're speaking with Katie Pavlich right now, is this moment in time, like when we're talking about open discussions with Iran or how we might be involved, actually involved in Iran due to the circumstances that are taking place there, is this different than other times in history? Is Iran in a different position right now for America to be involved and to kind of throw their weight into the situation?
Well, it's a great question because, we've seen these uprisings before. The Green Revolution during the Obama years, where it was very close to being a change driven by the people of Iran. And the Obama administration kind of sat by and didn't do much, leading to the Iranian nuclear deal, which, of course, President Trump got out of, a number of other terrorist attacks driven by the regime. So that you are seeing now, based on the footage, that these protests and this new revolution is having more impact than previously. And also that you combine that with the strikes on the nuclear program, which, of course, was the crown jewel of the regime last year. And it's a bad combination for them. And you add the sanctions that have been put on by the Trump administration over the course of just the past year, which some of them were limited by the Biden administration. The economy has been absolutely terrible for Iran, and people are tired of it. So it's an interesting combination of events. Whether it will actually be toppled, is to be foreseen. And we've seen this play out before where they got really close, the people of Iran, and it didn't exactly work out for them. So I think we'll just have to keep watching to see what happens.
Yeah, certainly. Katie Pavlich speaking with us right now, the primetime host of Katie Pavlich Tonight on News Nation. Weeknights at 9 p.m. starts next Monday. Is that correct?
Next Monday. Yep.
Are you
January 19th.
You've been on TV for so long and you've filled in. We've seen your face so many different places talking about so many different things. Hosting has got to be, especially when you're doing it every night. How excited are you for this opportunity, and what are people going to get when they tune in?
I am absolutely thrilled for this opportunity. There's so much happening in Washington, D.C. I always love to say that, this job is amazing, and you working in media as well, because we have a front row seat to history. Every day is different. We're going to be having on some of the biggest newsmakers of the day, lots of administration officials. We're going to have debates on the show. And we're also going to have a little fun, and we're going to do some segments to honor our military. We're going to focus on blue-collar workers. I grew up in a car wash. My parents owned a car wash, so I want to make sure that we're in the Beltway, but we don't get stuck in the bubble where we're not actually understanding what's going on outside of Washington, D.C. and the Capitol, and how the things happening on Capitol Hill and in the White House and the policy decisions that are made are affecting everyday Americans who don't spend all their time necessarily on Twitter or on X, and they want to tune in at 10 o'clock, see what's going on, have it make sense to them, and understand why it should matter to them. That's going to be our goal every night. And the news cycle changes by the minute.
Yes.
So every day is going to be like drinking from a fire hose, but I like that. And we have a great team that's ready to step up to the challenge. So I'm really excited for this opportunity.
Well, we're excited for the opportunity to see, to have options out there of what we can tune into. And you'll be airing on News Nation weeknights in Central Time, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern, of course. And I think that these issues really, like when you're talking about getting outside of the Beltway, of course, we're in the heart of the Midwest here in St. Louis. We have an interesting perspective on state politics. I live in Illinois, blue state, as blue as can be, red state. I think both states have super majorities in their general assemblies of the opposite parties. So we get to kind of watch and see up close here. But from the Midwest, sometimes it looks a little bit different than the direction the national news goes quite a bit. Minnesota, we were talking about Minnesota. Like, do they consider themselves to be Midwest or Northern? And one of our associate producers here has family in Minnesota, and he said that mostly they're Midwest. I think that a lot of Minnesota stuff kind of gets to get looked over because they're flyover country. And right now, the exposure of what's coming to Minnesota, even though I think that a lot of this Rachel Good, the tragic death of a protester who got lied to by her political party and lost her life because of it. What's coming in Minnesota, do you think, right now? What kind of reckoning is coming to the way they've been doing business as usual for quite some time?
Well, I think that there is the Department of Justice is seriously investigating not just the people who were involved directly in the fraud of these daycares, right? The ones who were fraudulently filing the paperwork and claiming that they were there to have children and then no one was there, but also the politicians who allowed this to happen. What did they know? When did they know it? And why did they continue to allow it? Because there's no way that Governor Tim Walz, who was bragging on the campaign trail when he was the vice presidential candidate for Kamala Harris, about the daycares, that he didn't know that everything was not exactly going, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And this has started in Minnesota, and with one program, but this kind of fraud is happening all over the country. And I think that much of the federal deficit that we have, budget deficit, is due to fraud. And it's not just in terms of one program for daycares. It's in Medicaid. It's in SNAP. So I think you're going to see all over the country different federal government agencies like the USDA, for example, Medicaid services, and investigators from DOJ going into these local programs and finding a lot of this fraud and putting a stop to it. In Minnesota was just ground zero for the exposure.
It'll be interesting to see how successful the Trump administration is in seeing this fraud exposure all the way through, taking our economic system completely down to the studs. What kind of generational, if not historically unprecedented impact it could have on the future of this country.
Yeah, and this administration has prided itself on returning the American economy to a private sector-driven economy and getting billions of dollars. I mean, to think that there is $18 billion of fraud just in Minnesota on this one program is insane. And so this is also part of that, getting the government out of places it should not be, reducing fraud, making sure that money that's taken from taxpayers that is earned through hard work is not stolen to make people, rich, whether they're politicians or people who have come here and they're taking advantage of the system. But, that I think is part of the bigger process here of returning the American economy to a private sector driven economy, not one that is driven by the federal government, taking from makers and producers and giving it to those who are not doing anything but lining their own pockets.
Well, Katie Pavlich, we hope you'll come back and talk to us. We're excited to tune into Katie.
I would love to.
Pavlich tonight, News Nation, weeknights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Starts next Monday. Is that correct?
Starts next Sunday, week from today. We're almost there.
We're excited for you and for us to be able to watch at 9 p.m. Thanks for the time today.
Thank you so much for having me on. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye. Former news editor as well of Town Hall for 16 years. She was the, I think, chief editor there when she moved on to News Nation. Loved watching her at Fox News. And, how often are you going to have an opportunity for a primetime show to pop up? And, I think people will be like, oh, she left Fox News. I mean, this is still a huge, huge step up for her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you get your own show, that's a huge deal.
It is. So excited for her, but also for us to have another option to tune into. Katie Pavlich, first time here on the Annie Frey Show. You can go to katiepavlich.com as well for more information. Follow her on X at Katie Pavlich. All right, let's take a quick break. The Wiggins America Monday Roundup at about 12:45, so stick around for that. In the 1 o'clock hour, Steve Moore is going to talk to us. Excited to have him back on to get some reaction to that jobs report from last week. And Congressman Mike Bost at 1:30. Full show for you here on the Annie Frey Show today. Don't go away. The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. Have you gotten to that place in your career where some of you are coasting? Some of you like what you do. You don't hate working. You don't mind the money. Most of you are making the most money that you've probably ever made in your career just over the course of time building up. Or maybe you're doing something, stepped away from the long-term career, but you're just doing something to make some money along the way until it's time to retire on fully. But when does that time come? Maybe you're thinking, Could that time be now? Ready to live some life in retirement and not be bound by the constraints of a schedule? Well, you call 314-993-9494. And when you plug in with Thomas Helbig, with Bob and Tammy Kershaw, they're going to be able to tell you exactly the timeline that you need to know, how hard your money is going to work for you, if there are moves that you still need to make in order to make that transition a successful one, or, okay, you're going to need about 2 more years. You just want the real information because that gives you the peace of mind you need to go into retirement and enjoy it as much as you always hoped you would. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Today's poll question is: should you, as a member of the United States, do anything to protect the Iranian people
Should
protesting?
the United States do anything? Just to be clear.
Just to be clear.
We're not asking you personally to show up and get some business done.
Because what I said apparently was not clear enough. I don't know how you would take that away. But should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? My goodness.
Just read it.
Hey, it's Monday. 12:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. From the gateway to the airwaves, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Like we were just saying in the poll question there, we're wondering how you feel about the United States getting involved in this protest, this national protest taking place in Iran. Some of the images are wild. Katie Pavlich just on with us, new host of Katie Pavlich Tonight on News Nation, 9 o'clock our time, starting next Monday. She was talking about how the bodies that are piling up in Iran are much higher than the numbers that they're saying there. And it's just an absolute tragedy to see a government turn on its people in this way. But at the same time, Iran is having a moment that may be unlike the ones that we have seen before. Here's former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
We've seen these protests before. In 2009, we saw something that approached where we are today. President Obama literally refused to do anything, and even speak out in support of the Iranian people. And President Trump has taken a fundamentally different view and a different position. I think that also encourages the people of Iran to get the government that they want, and I'm hopeful they'll continue this effort. We know this, Griff. The Ayatollah is not going to go away peacefully. He's not going to go away quietly. Hamas, Hezbollah, these are resistance movements, theocracies. They'll stay at this. That means the Iranian people are going to have to stay at this as well.
But, Mr. Secretary, will this time be different? And do you think that Ayatollah Khamenei doesn't fully realize how much trouble he's in?
Griff, it's always unknowable if it will end completely differently, but this is different. You already see Iranian regular army personnel refusing to shoot at their own citizens. It's called the Artesh. So you have the IRGC, the Basij, different suppression forces that the Ayatollah has used. He'll keep trying. I understand he brought some folks in from Iraq, some militias that have been working with the Iranians there. He's not going to give up. I don't know that he recognizes this is different, but the people do. The people can see that what's taking place here today is fundamentally different than what's taken place before.
So Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State, reacting to the developments there. And I think it's impactful to know when you're watching these things that this is potentially history in the making, where the people have risen up. The pictures that Katie Pavlich was talking about, I love these pictures. These Iranian women, they're beautiful, beautiful women who are lighting cigarettes, and then they're lighting the pictures of their leader on fire with the cigarette that they're smoking. Cigarettes are going to be cool again. Have you heard that, like, tobacco is, like, it's not that bad for you?
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, they're trying to go against the vaping community a little bit more heavily now, and it's like clean tobacco would be good. So I don't know.
Would it look as cool to light a picture of a leader on fire from a vape pen?
I don't know. If your vape pen is lighting things on fire, it's you got several issues. One of them is the combustible nature of the thing you're putting in your mouth.
I don't vape. I don't know.
Do you know anything about like the world of vaping?
No, I know nothing. I know so little that I didn't know you could not light something with it.
Well, you're not supposed to be able to. The way that vapes are now made for kids to use, like there's a whole industry that is out there to make vapes in structures that look like everyday things that a kid would have. So the kids can vape at school.
It's like, you can put your weed in it. You can make a bong out of anything. It's the same thing, but with a vape pen.
I'm not like as well versed on bongs as you are, but
I'm not super into bongs.
That's not what you put on your resume. That's actually why you're here.
Well, you got to have a persona, and mine is a stoner.
People are like, that makes sense. Hadn't put that together quite yet, but
I'll be like
now
the stoner of the show. What do you think, Steve? He's like, that sounds great.
Sure,
have you ever smoked weed?
Hell?
No.
I ate it.
But I can do that. I can try.
Oh, man.
I can start.
When we talk a little bit later here with Congressman Mike Bost, I'm going to ask him about the government shutdown element. There is a push in Congress to force a shutdown so that ICE doesn't get funded.
Here we are.
Well, it's gonna play. That's gonna play with the far left progressive base, with the Rachel Goods of the world. They're those people who have been brainwashed by two things. It's not fair to say that they've all been brainwashed. Some of them are way worse than that. Some of them are on the take. Some of the people who need this system to be status quo are going to be incredibly financially hurt if the system falls apart. There are correlations made to the Democrats working extra hard to keep illegal immigrants here because it's the latest cheap labor that they are trying to basically enslave. I mean, those analogies go back to the 1800s when the Republican conservative part of this country pushed incredibly hard and successfully so at ending slavery in this nation. That was a Republican initiative and success that happened. Democrats did everything they could, even after the civil rights, even after black people, slaves were made to be free, not just black people, because not all black people were slaves and not all slaves were black people. But on the whole, after that movement was made, then there were lots of things that were ironically put in place to inhibit people from being able to vote, to be able to have their voice be heard in an equal manner. Those are all done by Democrats. Some people hear that and they think I'm the dumbest person who's ever walked the face of the planet. Like, Annie, how could you be so blind? How could you be so stupid? Google it. And well, maybe not Google it. Maybe you should DuckDuckGo it. maybe your answer is not on the Googs.
Firefox it.
Mozilla.
Oh,
hey. Netscape. What was your first browser? AOL?
Probably Internet Explorer. Oh, for the actual internet? Yeah, AOL.
No, your first browser for what else would there be?
I don't know. Well, I was thinking on the computer, automatically connecting, but back before you just automatically were on the internet all the time, it was dial-up, so it would have been AOL.
Did you have it on a CD?
Yeah.
A compact
Got
disc?
free minutes.
I don't think I ever understood exactly what was happening when the internet was in my presence.
Me
when
either.
it first came in, it's like, so now we do what? Oh, it connected.
Yeah.
It connects, and then you're like, yes! Now what?
Now I can talk to people in New Hampshire.
I guess I'll change my away message.
Yeah. I have an email. That stands for electronic.
Yeah. Isn't that what we went over with Ethan the other day? And he didn't know. The email was electronic mail.
No, he did know that. He didn't know something else.
I don't think he knew email was electronic mail.
I wish so badly that when I first got an email, which was like 1995, that I would have just had Ryan Wiggins at whatever. But he was like, oh, you got to put numbers and stuff in it and be cool.
You had email in 95?
It would have been right around there.
Man, you were ahead of the time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty early on for commoners, but we're not all the Wigginses.
I mean, you got to be a trendsetter, but you also just got to type your freaking name in.
Wiggins America, the Monday Roundup next. Don't go away.
Does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? We were caught up and lost in all.
The Lutheran Elementary School Association, shorter form, LISA with an E. LisaSTL.org is where you can go right now. I know a lot of people are starting to do open houses. A lot of people are starting to work on, what's going to happen for the next school year. There are a lot of reasons why you might be thinking about the next school year and what it looks like for you. Please consider the Lutheran school. Please consider the benefit of a Christian education, a biblically, scripturally based Christian education where you are not bound by the structures of what the public school system has to offer. Now, you've got to pay tuition to go to a Lutheran school, but it is much more affordable than you might think. Also, if you've gone to one Lutheran school and it's not exactly, maybe the setting or the distance or whatever it was might not be exactly what you're looking for, the Lutheran schools, 34 elementary Lutheran schools around the bi-state region, they're all very unique and different. So there is a Lutheran school out there waiting to meet you. Look up the Lutheran Elementary School Association online, lisastl.org, and find an open house that's going to be happening near you very soon. And see what they could do for you, for your family, for your child, for your grandchild. Lisa with an E, lisastl.org.
2026 is an election year, and 97.1 FM Talk will be your home for every twist and turn in the 2026 midterms. 97.1 FM Talk. Keep it here for radio coverage that's 25 years strong.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins. Monday Roundup. Yeah. This here's a wild
Everything you missed from over the weekend in a matter of only a couple short minutes.
This is a short weekend.
This is a short weekend. We got a long weekend next weekend.
Give us all the updates on your son's basketball tournament.
Oh, man. They lost their first game badly and then won every other single game and won the consolation championship.
Out of a 12-team tournament. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend. As you know, the tournament weekends, they're a lot of fun. And then when they happen to be in town, it's even better. Don't have to go anywhere.
I know. For volleyball season that I coached this past year, 2 tournaments that we used to take that were out of town. One was in Peoria, which I'm going to this weekend for basketball. And another one was the state volleyball tournament, which is in Springfield, Illinois. Both of those moved to Madison County.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was like, yes. All the kids were like, oh, no, because they want to stay in a hotel. I'm like, I don't want to stay in a hotel with you brats.
Mm-hmm. And it's even better when it's not just in proximity, it's in your town.
Yes.
It's almost home games.
I love my volleyball players. They're not brats, but sometimes we're all brats.
Yep. Even Ethan, who's in the studio. Hello.
Ethan, didn't we have to tell you that email stood for electronic mail?
No, you did not. I don't think so. Pretty sure I knew that.
Okay.
See, I was pretty sure he knew. There's something else.
That's good enough for me, too.
There's something else that we got you on, though.
75% positive I knew that. You probably did.
Did you know that it could have stood for Ethan Mail?
I was 25% sure.
Yeah, you got to hedge your bets. All right, here's what happened over the weekend, or actually is part of what's to come next weekend. Melania Trump's film will premiere at the Kennedy Center after JFK family members condemn the name change. So they're making it about the Kennedy Center. But really, we're just talking about the movie. Melania Trump's self-titled film is gearing up for a debut. It comes out at that premiere at the Kennedy Center first, and the next day goes to streaming. Any desire to see this movie?
It's streaming?
Well,
I thought it was going to be in theaters.
It will be, and simultaneously, I think you can buy it on Prime.
Okay, but people can go see it in theaters.
As far as I understand.
This is an example of something I'm going to do to support the Trump administration.
Okay.
I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy it. Of all of the things that I could watch at the movie theater, I'm going to enjoy this as much as I would probably enjoy anything else. That's kind of an indictment on how boring I am. But there are going to be... my prediction, and I hope I'm not wrong, my prediction is that this is going to do very well because people are going to make a point by going.
Okay. Ethan, I'm going to ask you next, and then Brad, any desire to see the Melania Trump film?
I would say...
And there's your answer.
Okay, thank you, Brad.
I sorry, I thought you said you were going to ask Brad first. I got mixed up.
You can just say no.
You can say no.
If it was like on one of the streaming services that I don't
You're not
pay
watching
for,
it. You're not
then
watching
I would
it.
watch it maybe.
No,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't.
going to pay for it.
No, you won't watch Spaceballs.
Well, that I have to pay for.
I'll pay for it for you. I will buy it in every form available so you watch it.
No, sorry, I'm busy that night.
See, exactly. You're not doing it.
Annie will buy your Spaceballs for you.
Okay.
All right.
Brad?
I don't know if I'll go see it in theaters. I would like to see it in theaters, like Annie said, to support, but I'll definitely watch it on streaming.
You can buy the tickets. You don't have to go.
Well, if I buy the tickets, I'm going to go.
Now that's saying something.
I think, I'm not talking about this movie specifically, but if I were trying to support something, I would just buy tickets and hope I could make it. If you want to make sure you're on record in support of it, I think Melania Trump's the one that's gotten the most screwed over this entire thing. She is stunning. She is so smart. She is so capable. And if she, like the Michelle Obama treatment, and like look at how they even treated Jill Biden. What did she bring to the table except for great medical expertise? She was the one assessing Joe Biden's mental acuity.
Kidding me? She was the president of the United States.
I know, right? Leading cabinet meetings and everything. Good grief.
Presidentess.
No,
Okay.
do not degrade the name of the office because she's female.
Did you say pregunta?
No.
What?
You know what that
means
pregnant
question.
in
That's what I
Spanish,
thought.
No, I said presidenta.
Oh, okay. Okay. Man, right when you said,
Tess.
you know what that means? I went, uh-oh. No, 'cause I did not know. The Melania Trump movie, to cap this off, I have zero desire to see this movie. However, if it were on somewhere, I have a feeling I'd sit there and watch the whole dang thing.
Pregunta doesn't mean pregnant.
Yes,
What does it mean?
Question.
No, it means
Question.
pregnant.
See? That's what I meant.
Depends. What
Uno pregunta means a question.
language
One
were you talking
pregnancy.
about?
You make a fair point. I concede.
We're talking about different languages.
We're talking about Spanish.
Ethan was more thrilled that you said that than I have ever seen him. He was giggling like a little girl, like a little pregunta, whatever that means.
I'm going to file you under the queue.
I never said
questioning. Go on.
All right.
Ryan.
Over the weekend, another viral video. Did everybody see the English town in Middle West England that Sky went
Midwestern
mysterious?
England?
Yes.
Our brothers and sisters in arms.
Middle Western England.
That you could call this Middle Western
Middle Western America.
It's Midwest is
We're in
just
the
quicker.
gateway.
The gateway to the London.
Well said.
The
Thank
gateway
you.
to the London.
I'm just trying to elevate the show, Ethan.
Done a great job so far.
Thank you.
The sky went mysteriously pink. Anybody see these videos over the weekend?
Was
They were
it
kinda
Was
circulating?
it the Northern Lights?
No. At the time of the videos, they couldn't figure it out. So that's why it became a mystery. What's
Was it
going on?
Glenda the Good Witch?
There were lots of people posting this, so it wasn't just one random person. It wasn't just a filter. Lots and lots and lots of videos were coming out. Well, they found out what it was. It had snowed that night, so it was partially the weather, and it was partially I don't know what they're calling it, like a red light therapy they were doing to the soccer field in town to make the
Man, the
grass-
lies that the
That's all
English
it
government
was?
tells their people are way more basic than ours.
Yeah, and the unexpected swirl of color turned out to be LED lights set by local soccer club Hennidsford Town FC to assist with the growth of grass at their stadiums.
Hope it worked.
Okay.
So
Did they know
amidst-
it was snowing?
They showed video of what it looked like in the stadium, and it does have kind of a reddish hue, but I guess as that light goes up, hits the snow,
Longer
it becomes
light waves.
pink, and then when you take videos of it, it looks very pink. It was really, really weird to see, but that's all it was. It's so funny.
So disappointing.
It's a mystery.
How about this? A Methodist church has held classes on how to properly film
The
immigration
Methodists?
officers. Yes. Can you imagine your grandma going to her liberal church one evening to practice her arrest face for the camera?
I've seen the protests. I can believe the Mimas are out in full force.
That's exactly what's going
At
on.
the Methodist church.
This is not a parody. It's a reality, but it's in North Carolina, this church. They are basically training people. Now, it's under the guise of, look, you got to be careful out there with ICE. You never know what they're going to do. So they're painting themselves as the victims, but really they're trying to create victimhood by showing people at this church how to pose, how to resist properly, and it's mainly for cameras.
WWJD.
Well, you asked that question, and this article from Not the Bee goes on to show a meme of an old lady, which is from this actual class, like crying and falling down for the camera. Saying,
Can you do a little more research on these classes, and can you try to see what you can get out of this building here? Just like protest in front of the drinks, not enough options.
Am I making a trip to North Carolina?
No, just the Google, and then find out what the classes are. Just the basics of what they're learning, and then see if you can get us like a more robust, like cafeteria vending machine situation, or maybe some more days off or something in front of Steve's. I just need you to put into place these protesting tactics and see what you can get for the people of Odyssey, St. Louis.
Okay, so we'll have to have somebody
We probably-
internally filming me, though.
You could probably get somebody a job.
Yours. So corporate comes in to film me. I fall down. I cry.
Well, I don't know what the rules are. You'll have
I
to
maybe
research.
get some fresh salads.
Yes. Fresh. Like day of salads.
Okay.
Steve Moore next. Don't go away.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Wondering if dangerous contaminants are in your home's water? Get Leaf Home Water Solutions today. We can't live without water, but we can take actions today to make it safer and healthier. Leaf Home Water Solutions is offering a free in-home water test. Just visit leafhome.com/free to schedule yours. With results from their advanced digital testing, Leaf Home Water Solutions can design a whole home system and expertly install it in as little as 1 day. With Leaf Home Water Solutions, you can feel confident that each drop of water from every tap and appliance is cleaner and safer for you and your family. We can't live without water, but we can take actions today to make our family's water safer with Leaf Home Water Solutions. Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Deerbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from Michael's Bass. You've upgraded the kitchen, you've invested in your home, so why settle for a bathroom that still feels ordinary? At Michael's Bass, they create elevated bathroom spaces that blend luxury, comfort, and smart design, all tailored to the way you live. This isn't a temporary fix or a quick cover-up. It's a complete transformation, built to last and built to add value to your home. And now is the perfect time to plan for a spring installation. Visit michaelsbass.com or call 636-775-0800. Ask about financing options, including 0% interest. michaelsbass.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Surging resources to Minneapolis. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt, who tells Fox protesters keep harassing federal agents and trying to interfere with a lawful law enforcement operation.
President Trump and the entire Trump administration stands firmly with the brave men and women of ICE, who are everyday Americans who put on their uniform every day to protect our communities.
This as city and state officials in Minnesota accuse the administration of sowing chaos after the killing of a woman critics call murder. Federal officials say the ICE agent who fired the shots was defending himself. In Oregon, an indictment unsealed revealing the charges against a man who was shot and wounded by Border Patrol last week in Portland.
The indictment shows Luis Nino Moncada faces a count each of aggravated assault of a federal officer with a deadly weapon and damage to federal property. Nino Moncada, according to the Justice Department, tried to ram a Border Patrol vehicle several times with a pickup truck he was driving last Thursday. That led Border Patrol officers to fire shots, one of them wounding Nino Moncada.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The Justice Department says a woman in the truck was the target of the operation. Both suspects believed to be linked with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. The Iranian regime warning against possible U.S. intervention to help protesters, with hundreds of deaths reported in a government crackdown on mass demonstrations. But President Trump has said Iran wants to negotiate.
What I will tell you is that what the Iranian regime is saying publicly is quite different from the messages they are sending to the United States and the Trump administration privately.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president's first option is always diplomacy. Leavitt also just telling reporters the president did not direct Justice Department officials to investigate the Fed chair, who says a probe related to a renovation project at Fed headquarters is a pretext to pressure him on interest rates. America is listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our temperature's pretty nice this afternoon. The southerly flow is back. Don't get used to this. Plenty of sunshine, 52 for the high, so it's warmer, but nothing weird. Tonight, clear and 39. On Tuesday, partly sunny, 58. Wednesday, clouds, some sun. It's colder, 44. Chilly to cold Thursday and Friday with a winter blast coming in for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are going to talk to Congressman Mike Bost at 1:30. There is a conversation swirling around getting those budgets passed, those appropriations bills passed, and it's got to be done in the next 18 days. I think is it January 30th or 31st I think it's the 30th, that the government shuts down if Congress can't get their act together. So we sit and we count down, and shutdown could be upon us once again. But there is discussion that maybe this process would be stalled because they would use this as an opportunity to defund ICE, to slow ICE's role, specifically in Minnesota, but then, of course, across the country. So we'll see what kind of stamina the Democrats have for that type of tomfoolery out of Congress. Now, our YouTube poll for today, and I would invite you to text us at 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. And tell us what you think about this question. Should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? Yes or no? That is a big, wide open question. That would include us going in and completely overthrowing the Iranian government and working to install complete and total regime change efforts by the United States. That also might involve money or technology. I saw a post that said Elon Musk had sent Starlink to the Iranian people. But then after that post, I saw something where the president or the administration suggested that he should do it. So I don't know if it really happened. Do you know? Either of you know?
No, I saw the report that he either said that he was going to or he had, but then I didn't see the follow-up after that.
Yeah. Elon Musk is so powerful.
I mean, seriously.
And I'm thinking to myself, the value of that man, his brain, his life. I mean, what Tesla is, what SpaceX is, these are all things that have completely changed the course of human history. What we will be able to do in the future, very little of what our grandkids experience won't have been affected in some way, shape, or form by Elon Musk.
Having the richest man in the world on at least what looks like to be the right side at the moment, fighting the forces of darkness back.
He's never been on the wrong side.
Well, he thinks very differently than just left-right politics. He comes up with things that aren't really a part of the conversation, and then they become a part of the conversation because he's the richest man in the world, very influential, and owns Twitter, which is another reason why he has helped everybody in the world to understand what the difference between suppression and free speech is.
It's even, you're exactly right that like the standard issue left, right, red, blue battle that we fight on a regular basis in this country, you know, in our news cycle, there's a really easy way to do the job that we're doing right now, which is just be like, what's the rah-rah for the Republicans today? That's the simple thing to do. And a lot of people are doing that. I will also say that if I were listening to a radio show, a podcast, or a television that was doing the rah-rah Republican thing, it's up to the host to determine whether that would be entertaining to me. I'm not immediately opposed to that, but I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. Those principles, those characteristics about me are important to me. I don't think that's the case for most people. It's like doing it'd be like doing a sports talk show, but just for Bears fans. How you doing, Bears fans, by the way? It'd be like saying, you know, there's a lot out there for sports fans. There's a lot out there to discuss. There's a lot of different avenues that you can talk about sports that aren't just X's and O's, so to speak. There's broad appeal. If you look at your audience on the whole, what are the things that they like? What are the things they don't like? That doesn't mean that if you're a Bears fan, you wouldn't love to listen to something that is just going to break down the Packers-Bears game top to bottom, left to right, in every hour and do it over and over again because, boy, it felt good. I'm not a Bears fan. I'm not a Bears fan. I'm not an NFL fan.
I'm not an NFL fan either.
So for us to do a job here on this show, there are certain factors that come to mind. First and foremost, I need to present to you a show that has integrity every day. So I need to make sure that whatever I put out there, if I were to meet you face to face and you had a problem with what I said, what we did, what we covered, what we didn't cover, that I would be able to have a face-to-face conversation with you and feel like whatever it is that we did it with integrity and with honesty. That doesn't mean it's going to please everybody. It doesn't mean that it's going to, ruffle all the right feathers, whatever. I have to approach every day, every show with a sense of this is just my honest take. These are our honest positions. But I also have to do it in a way that entertains you enough that you want to stick around here, that you want to be a part of this, little Annie Fry Show family and the little nook of the Midwest that we have, or however far it reaches on our social media platforms and the 97.1 social media platforms, on the Odyssey app. Like, we are limitless if people know that we exist. There's so much tribal politics that exists in media space right now that I think it frustrates me sometimes where people will say to me, because I get it, I completely get it. I'm not judging you for this, but people will say to me like, Annie, sometimes I just have to turn it off. Like, I don't even tune in because it's just too much for that day. I don't need that day. And the whole time I'm like, we're trying to do the show for you, man. Like, I have you in mind when we put this show together, because I'm not going to beat you over the head and how awesome the Republicans are today, because I could just pick those stories. And I could play for you every day The View and AOC. It used to be Nancy Pelosi. I don't even know if she talks anymore. The Elon Omars. I could play that. We could all get really, really rage-baited angry together. But that sucks. That's not fun. It's not like I would want to be like, I'm not interested in that either. Hard pass. So we don't dive headfirst into that. But then at the same time, there are really big stories that are happening across the country. They do have a left and a right perspective. So you got to figure out how to entrust to people that we're going to talk about something from an honest place of where we are, not any marching orders that anybody, top to bottom, at this company. I've never been told what I can and can't talk about. Nobody pre-programs this show. For me, I put everything together, and Brad and Ethan and Ryan and I all come together in a way that shows up noon to 3. And most of this, too, Ryan, like, you don't really know what I'm going to be talking about specifically each day or the positions I'm going to take. We specifically don't have conversations off air a lot of times because we want the first conversation we have to be with you, the listener.
Correct. Yeah, you and I have not talked at all until noon today. I texted you a little bit over the weekend about the basketball tournament, but that's it.
Yeah. It's just the way I feel like we can do an honest show where you feel like you're participating in something. I just don't want to preach to you. I'm not in any position to preach to you. You've got your thoughts and opinions and the brain cells to form them all by yourself. So when you walk into a big story like what we're seeing coming out of Minnesota or we're seeing coming out of Iran, you just assume that you're going to know what everybody who's an elected official, when they come to the microphone, when they come to the camera, you just assume that you're going to understand exactly what they're going to bring to the table. You wait to see if they have the R or the D next to their name, and then you just know what they're going to say and how they're going to feel about whatever it is the topic that is being discussed, what it's going to be. John Fetterman is one of those people who you do not know what he's going to say, his position that he's going to take, unless you start paying a lot of attention to John Fetterman. Then you can start seeing the principles with which he adheres to. This is Fetterman on CNN talking about the deadly protests in Iran.
The president saying he's now considering taking military action inside Iran. Do you want the U.S. to get involved like that?
Sure, absolutely. And now if it continues to make more sense, absolutely. I think I was the only Democrat that fully supported our strike of their Iranian nuclear facilities last year. And now, by then, without those kinds of strikes, Iran could have acquired a nuclear bomb. I hope we can all agree that Iran should have never acquired a nuclear bomb. And Iran is one of the world's top terrorist unwriter. And now you have that poisonous regime now in spiral. So why wouldn't we want to support that and those brave protesters?
So you listen to John Fetterman speaking there and talking. He says, like, wouldn't we all want and it's like, no. And Senator Fetterman, your party, those are the ones who are immutably against anything that Donald Trump is for. It annoys me when people are like, is John Fetterman going to switch parties? Because he should be able to have individual thoughts on individual topics. If he's an individual person, if he's there as a party representative, then he's not representing the people of Pennsylvania that he was elected to serve. In a democracy, which, yes, we have a democracy, but a republic is a form of democracy. So a republic is a more specific example of the democracy that we need to uphold here in the United States of America. When you consider that we have a republic in the United States of America, we send people to represent us that are over the overarching governing body of our country is the Constitution. It's not a majority, because the majority could be crazy. And there should be something to stop the majority of people who are now crazy from being able to wreck the whole gosh darn thing. John Fetterman is an individual person who was elected in what I think is actually a pretty corrupt setup and situation, because he was elected in 2000, correct? Didn't he win the presidency? He was one of the people who helped switch
2020.
2020, is that what I said?
2000. You said
20.
Yeah. 2020.
One extra two, whatever. Yeah. Such details. In 2020, he was elected, and he had just suffered a stroke. I mean, even when you listen to him speak here, you can still, if you know that he had a stroke, you can still tell in his inflection, because his ability to communicate was greatly diminished by the stroke that he had. I don't know if his ability to think was diminished. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, had a series of strokes over the end of her life. She passed away in the fall of 2002. But I specifically remember her being in the hospital, laying in bed. She would have a speech therapist come work with her, because the stroke that put her in the hospital just demolished her ability to communicate. But she was an incredibly educated woman. This is my grandmother, who was from Australia. She was an incredibly educated woman. She left her entire life in Australia to come to the United States, to go through the system, to become an American citizen, and to educate herself here in the Midwest of all places. Imagine leaving Australia, the coast of Australia, to be like, how about Edwardsville? Thank you, Grandma, for doing that. Here I am. But she had this stroke. It put her in the hospital, and she'd have the speech therapist come in. And my grandmother, who was very proper, I don't think she hated the woman, but she hated speech therapy, because everything in her head was still functioning the way an 80-year-old woman's head would function, but she couldn't talk. So she had to go through therapy. So this woman would be like, cat. And my grandma would be laying in bed, and she wouldn't move her head, but she would side-eye to me like, I need you to kill her. And I would just sit there. My grandma taught me how to read. When I was 3 years old, I was going across the path because we grew up in the household that my grandfather was born in. You want to talk about why I'm still in Illinois? It's because those freaking roots go deep. I would walk across this path that I walked 1,000,000 times in my lifetime and go sit at her kitchen table. And she was an educator. She became an educator when she came to the United States. She loved the English language. My obsession with good grammar is inherited from my grandmother through my father and into me. And I would sit there, and she taught me how to say the word cat and to read the word cat and to understand communications. That was a gift I got from my grandmother, and she would sit there and teach me these things with the patience of a saint. And now I'm sitting in a hospital room next to her bed while she's trying to learn how to say cat. But she knew cat. She knew that in her head. And I know that John Fetterman, initially, like for him to go through that debate where he opened up the debate by saying goodnight. You remember that?
It was a complete mess.
He shouldn't have done it.
It was, yeah.
And we know now that in Pennsylvania, especially in 2020, in the COVID world of voting, he won before that debate started, which is probably why he did it. John Fetterman, I think, is one of the most interesting political science figures to study that exists in our government because he was, from what I understand, a pretty beloved politician before the stroke or anything. He was always his own guy. He's in this CNN interview wearing his Carhartt hoodie. Completely his own person. He was detested by the Republican Party when he was running for Senate. Would the Republicans have been better off if John Fetterman would have lost the Republican? Yes. And so would the country have been because they had a 50-50 tie in the Senate with John Fetterman winning that seat. So it still would have been better for the Republican Party should he have lost that election that he really shouldn't have won because he was not positioned in a way physically from a health standpoint probably to do the rigors of the job when he was elected there. Stroke came after he started running. What do? They did the best they could, and they ended up pulling it off. And I think it's because of the system that was put in place in 2020 with the ballot harvesting and all that. I think he won the election before that debate even took place. But if you look at someone like John Fetterman, who was like enemy number one for Republicans for a while, because it's like, are you serious? Wasn't Dr. Oz the person who lost to John Fetterman? Dr. Oz is now serving in Trump's cabinet or in Trump's administration. Dr. Oz is there contributing and serving his country. Fetterman is there serving his state and his constituents. And for some reason or another, Republicans seem to agree that Fetterman and the Republicans seem to agree on more things than anybody ever would have expected them to. But you'd have to pause and take a minute to observe that, and you'd have to be able to say, I think Fetterman's right on this one. Oh, Annie, he's a Democrat. Well, yeah, and? He's apparently utilizing his brain and his autonomy as an individual who should be beholden to the people of Pennsylvania in a way that you don't see very many of these other senators doing so on a lot of these peak issues. Which is why we're not going to go on this show and just get talking points from somebody. I'm waiting for someone to hand me talking points. I want to mail in one show. Can I just mail in one show?
Let's do tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. I'll give you talking points. You can just mail it in.
I don't want your talking points.
That stinks because it was going to be great.
How about this? Give me some talking points.
Tomorrow?
Maybe we'll do an hour. Make me advocate for things.
Okay.
And see how good I am at this.
Yeah, I think we'll do that.
The individualism of the American citizen and the American voter is actually what makes our country great. And the tribal nature of a two-party system, which, folks, is not going to change. You can shake fists at it. It's not going to change. We're in a position right now where we can make this better by having conversation and, of course, here between noon and 3, hopefully making it be a place where you can have those conversations, where you can listen, you can judge, you can disagree, you can agree. It's up to you, really. But we're glad you're here. All right, quick break. Congressman Mike Bost is going to be with us in about 10 minutes, so don't go away. Morning Fry Show around the corner. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. The number, call them at 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900, and have Matt Hayes come out and check out your concrete situation, foundation situation, leaky basement situation, and get a solution booked right away. The first step is making the phone call, tell him you heard about him on the Andy Fry Show, and just set up an appointment for him to come look and see what you're dealing with. I know for a fact, whether you hire him or not, you're going to love Matt Hayes. You're going to get to know him a little bit when you're showing him what you're dealing with. You're going to tell him you heard about him on the Andy Fry Show, and you guys are going to connect immediately. Maybe you hire him, maybe you don't. Maybe he looks at your situation and goes, oh, this isn't nearly as bad as it could be. We can do this, this, and this, but we won't have to do that, that, and that. I don't know what's going on in your basement, but the chances of you also not knowing exactly what's going on in your basement, pretty good. Matt Hayes can tell you what's going on in your basement or with that concern you have with your foundation. Just have him come out at 314-271-9900 and give you the answers that you've been looking for. 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We may get the internet going, if that's possible. We may speak to Elon, because as you know, he's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company. So we may speak to Elon Musk. And in fact, I'm going to call him as soon as I'm finished with you.
So President Trump, Air Force One, they're saying they're going to call Elon Musk and see what they can do about that Starlink service in Iran. It is crazy to me that one man can be like, I'll give this country internet. That's a power that I don't know that anybody has really ever experienced on the face of the planet. And Elon Musk is an American, and he is a freedom-loving American. I think that's pretty amazing. Should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? Yes or no? Brian, what have you seen? Like, what is your Midwestern American consumption of what's going on in Iran? Like, do you have any thoughts specifically about the moment?
Yeah, well, I think that started to break about 2 days before the Maduro capture. So we were all still on vacation a little bit. I think it was right after New Year's. So it's like it didn't quite get the traction. To see it still happening now is a surprise and very encouraging, because I remember back in George W. Bush days, him saying, and I don't know if he said this publicly a lot, but it was like he privately would talk about Iran and say, you know what we need to do? We just need to wait it out, because the people there are ready to take their government back. That was back in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, I've seen different people speak on social media, but also on the news channels about the issue. And it's like, it's very important to differentiate between the Iranian government, the people who have kind of absorbed all of the power, the resources, and then imposed on the people of Iran this lifestyle that they don't really want. And to your point that it didn't really get the coverage that, of course, the Venezuela thing did look like just like a movie. So you're watching that and you're like, wait, we did what? So the Iranian people thing, something that's starting like that and growing exponentially like that we didn't really, it's not our thing. Yeah, we took out their biggest flex in their nuclear facilities, but this is absolutely from the bottom up. The Iranian people saying, There are a lot of people making the allegation that the reason the story isn't being covered, and of course, the reason you don't see all of these leftists, changing all of their Facebook profile pictures to the Iranian flag to uphold the freedom and the rights of the people in Iran, like they have the Ukrainian flag, like they have the Palestinian flag or whatever that is, the Gaza situation. The reason you don't see this in Iran is because it's hard to advocate for what the protesters in Iran are pushing for, what they're pushing for freedom from, without questioning the Muslim Islamic nature, the religious aspect that those leftist protesters are also beholden to. There's a conflict for them to come out and say, yes, power to the Iranian people, because what they're pushing back against conflicts with some of the other things that they've stood up for.
Which is why you say this sometimes in election seasons. It seems like the left is more cobbled together by what they're against than what they're for.
Yeah. Text us, 314-241-9797. Ryan just sits there and stares and waits for someone to text.
We've got a couple of good ones in the last minute.
Okay. 314-241-9797. We'll feature some of those thoughts from you, the listener, our favorite, when we come back here a little bit later in the show. Congressman Mike Bost, Illinois' 12th District Representative, will join us for the first time in the new year. We'll talk to Congressman Bost next. Don't go away.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
There's a certain way we do things around here, the Grasser way.
The Grasser way?
We don't cut corners and we don't take shortcuts. Not on the little stuff and not on the big stuff.
We do the big stuff.
That's right. Whole home generators that kick on the moment the grid gives up. Lights stay on, heat stays on, your family stays safe, so your house stays warm.
And your ice cream stays frozen.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Today's YouTube live chat poll has everything to do with Iran. We are asking you, should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? Let us know yes or no. Also, a reminder that we are giving away tickets to see Jimmy Fallon in the 2 o'clock hour. So today's your first day. You can listen to all 3 of our local shows here, giving away tickets, including this one here in the 2 o'clock hour. Pay attention for the phone number.
Show's on January 24th?
January 24th at the Factory. So just stick around. You'll have lots of chances this week. Your first one coming up after 2 o'clock. It is 1:31. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Fox News National, St. Louis Local, 97.1 FM Talk.
here in January. Some Democrats threatening to turn off the lights in a funding fight over immigration enforcement.
You're not ruling out a potential government shutdown over this battle for DHS reforms.
That's a decision for Republicans.
But you don't rule it out.
They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. If they don't want to work with Democrats and shut down the government, that's up to them.
So there you had, that was Senator Murphy saying, it's really in the hands of the Republicans, which is really, of course, it's not. Why? Well, because you got to have 60 votes in the Senate to move past the filibuster, which is why we had the government shut down for good Lord knows how many days the first time around. Are they going to shut this government down over health care, over ICE funding, over what? We don't know. But somebody who is there on the Hill and working to get the job of the people done, Congressman Mike Bost, Illinois' 12th District Representative in Congress. Happy New Year to you, Congressman Bost. Good to have you back.
Happy New Year, Annie. And first off, let me say thank you for, reminding all of your listeners, because I guarantee you the Democrats won't remind the listeners that in the Senate, you've got to have the 60 votes, which is vitally important when you start talking about a shutdown, because that's where the shutdown will come from.
Yeah. If all of the Republicans agree, they can't get done what they need to do in the Senate. They have to have Democrats be willing to do what Senator Murphy said, is come to the table and make a deal. How are you assessing the future here? A couple weeks, are we going to have another government shutdown?
I don't believe so, but there's a whole lot of issues out there. It's the ICE issues, it's the Venezuela stuff, and they always take a position that I believe is radically wrong with the American people, against the American people, or at least against the people of the majority of the people that sent me here to D.C., and that is whether it is, okay, look, Venezuela, we had a criminal that had been charged and had charges pending here. We went and we picked him up. And when we did it, it was not an act of war. It was aggressively going in. And I'm going to tell you, they did a wonderful job. And if you know all the details on it, it is amazing that only in the United States, our military combined with our Department of all of our CIA and everything like that, and the FBI, only the United States could pull anything like that off. Now, when we start talking about, if we start talking about ICE and what's going on there, look, these are sworn police officers doing their job. And all of a sudden you've got this radical group that keeps going on. You had 3 members of the Congress to try to go in and inspect an ICE facility in Minnesota over the weekend, and they didn't let them in because there is a order to your oversight. And so, it'll be, I don't believe they'll try to do another shutdown. They have to talk among themselves because they lost in the last shutdown. The Democrats lost.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's why they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't even think that's really up for debate. The Democrats did not come out ahead on that last deal. Congressman Mike Bost speaking with us right now, United States Congressman for Illinois' 12th District. Everybody is looking at what's going on in Minnesota, and I'm sure, Congressman, you, like me, are looking at Illinois going, can they be next? You've served in the General Assembly in Illinois state government. Do you suspect that there is this type of fraud taking place in the state of Illinois?
I believe that we have the ability, or the states should do their oversight, which they're supposed to do now, let me tell you, I've got a lot of legitimate daycares that are worried because the threat of cutting the funding. But
do they have children at their daycares?
They actually have children. They actually make the records. But in fact, I was actually at the grocery store on Saturday talking to a gal that I've known for years that owns a daycare, and she was worried, naturally. And I said, you keep records. I said, they come in and inspect. She said they inspect all the time. And I said, then you're not not the problem. You got to understand that what we're looking at here is we're talking hundreds, if not thousands, of people that come in, claim they open a daycare. But when you go to look for the records, there's no record. Matter of fact, most of them, you're finding out that the building that they're supposed to be in is something completely different.
Yeah.
When you call a telephone number that they give you, there's no one answers, or if it does answer, they go, this isn't a daycare. I mean, that's fraud.
The state of Illinois is looking at putting in a potential progressive income tax question, I think, on the ballot again as this election is coming forward. Are we going to get our taxes raised in the state of Illinois while potential fraud is existing at the same time?
Well, that's a high possibility because remember, they have always wanted a graduated income tax in the state of Illinois. The left does. When we were praised nationwide for having a flat tax for a long time. That was back when the flat tax was less than 3% too, by the way. But then all the other taxations that were out there. So as they move forward with this, that's pretty hard to explain, isn't it? We're going to tax you, but we're not going to watch over the money we take from you. We're going to spend it willy nilly, and then if fraud's out there, that just happens.
Congressman Bost, this is Ryan. Hello.
Hi, Ryan.
I have a question that came in from our text line that I wanted to ask you here. It's a good one. It says, would you ask Congressman Bost what spending bills are going before the House this week?
What spending bills are going before the House this week? This week is, and I have that right there, this week is the Commerce, Energy, and Interior Funding Bill that will provide results across Southern Illinois. Matter of fact, in that, I'm proud to say that about $9 million in the funding for 7 infrastructure projects that are across Southern Illinois will be in that bill that we're working on this week, including water safety, sanitation projects, upgrades on emergency communication systems, and it is spread throughout the district. It's everything from there's going to Clinton County, the village of Maystown, West Salem, City of Anna, Robinson, Palestine Water Commission, and City of Casey. So these are the type of things that we're trying to do. We're not going to do a CR. We're actually going to be moving these bills. And when we get this week moved, I think we'll have about 9 of the 12 bills completed. We've had that conversation with you all before about the fact that since 1972, I think only all 12 bills have only been passed twice. Yeah. So if we get this done with a small majority, then we're really doing well. And right now we're down to just about, like I said, we get through this week. We got just one more because they're taken together in a clump. I think we got one more group that will be put together, and that'll be all 12.
Yeah, your majority is so small; it's about to become a minority. God forbid anything else happens there too. If
anything happens, yeah. Let me tell you that we really lost a really good man in Doug Lamalfa. He sat beside me in transportation infrastructure and also in ag, and he just was a great man.
Let me ask you, let's put this politics part of this conversation that we normally have aside right now. And, there's 435 people there trying to get the business of the people done. And it's a slap fight all the time, especially when you have just a simple majority, which is the feature of the House of Representatives. Every vote counts. I know that you have friends that are Democrats in the House of Representatives, and they're Democrats who can have, comfortable conversations over dinner with Republicans. How do you navigate such a small majority to make sure that the business of the people is always the priority, but that you can also work across the aisle to get stuff done, but also not be seen as a traitor to your own party? That's a tough road to hoe, I would say.
That is tough because you have certain people that don't want to work with the other side at all, on both sides. And then if you do, if you're a Democrat, you're turning on the Democrat. If you work with a Republican, if you're a Republican, well, obviously you're a rhino. And no, you're actually governing. And it is something that I had to do a whole lot from my minority situation when I was in the state of Illinois. And I've been in the minority and I've been here a little bit. But then you have to work and you try to get them together. Even on my VA this week, we have we have a bill that's really, really tough, and nobody wants to. And we have to have the pay for it. Okay, that's part of the pay-go and the other language that was passed before I got here. You have to have an offset, or you got to figure out where you're coming up with the money. And when you're dealing with veterans issues, it has to unfortunately come from the VA somewhere. And then the argument is, well, don't take it here, don't take it there. So working with them to try to find a compromise is what we end up doing. And I say that because of and I think I've made this statement to you before. I don't want to use the word compromise because everybody thinks compromise is a bad thing. Yeah. So you try to find common ground, okay? And because compromise, somebody will think, oh, you're giving up a moral ground. No, we're negotiating on language. I'm not going to support anything that has abortion. You know that. I'm not going to support anything that affects your Second Amendment rights. But sometimes you've got to. Sometimes you have to work to get a little and turn the ship 3 or 4 degrees at a time, not trying to get it to turn 180 degrees all at once.
Yeah. That's the difference between campaigning and governing. And it's a challenge to be able to campaign, to win, so you can govern and not take yourself out of the next opportunity to campaign. Congressman Mike Bost, go ahead. Speaking with us right now.
No, I was just going to say, remember that, and remember this, the statement is that, and if you're in the minority, you communicate. You try to say what you would do. If you're in the majority, you better legislate or you'll be communicating again.
Oh, touche. Congressman Mike Bost speaking with us right now. I'm thinking about all of those different ways that you have to navigate all of these particular issues to actually get something done. And then you get a strong figurehead, as the president is, Donald Trump, who seems as though he certainly seems to be the leader of the Republican Party. You're not going to get much done as a Republican contingent without the president, at least at minimum, not being against it, but of course, very helpful to have him be for it. Do you feel as though the Republicans in Congress right now are going to successfully be willing to be led by Donald Trump? Is the majority so small that those who tend to drift or stray, maybe even for the sake of just drifting and straying, are they going to be able to throw a wrench in the whole thing?
Well, I believe after we had our meeting, after we came back after the break where the president himself came in, I believe he's showing clearly that he is leading. He's leading in multiple areas at once. And then he is our strongest negotiator with somebody who might have a different view when a bill tries to move forward. I know when we moved the budget bill we moved last week, there were a few that were kind of standing off, and between the speaker, between the whip, and between the presidents, they were able to put them all together to get them on the rule and then get the bill passed. What's really wild is no Democrat would come over on and support the rule, because that's kind of just the way it works here, okay? But so once we got the rule passed, many members did not vote for particular parts on the Republican side, but there were enough Democrats came over to vote for it. Once you get the rule passed. But that's always why you always vote for the rule. And that's what if you're in the majority, and if you're in the minority, you don't vote for the rule. But that's how we got that other budget bill passed, and I think that's how we're going to get the rest of them passed.
Last question before we let you go, Congressman Mike Bost speaking with us right now. Say you lose your majority in the House. Will anything get done in Washington, D.C. for Donald Trump and his administration his second 2 years?
No, you'll hear impeach from the radical left, and nothing will get done. Unfortunately, it will be a repeat of what we had in his first term for the second 2 years. I hope that that's not the case. I'm doing everything I can to work these districts that are swing districts, try to get in there for the, with my standing as the chairman of the VA, and understand and explain to people why it's so important for us to keep the majority if we want to help those people who depend on government, and also to make sure that the government is better for our children and grandchildren in the future. And I'm going to tell you something. Let me make a quick comment here, because I know you were talking about your listeners and checking on the Iran situation.
Yeah.
I'm watching this very closely. Many people know and understand this. I know my family does. So the reason I joined the Marine Corps, remember I joined the Marine Corps 3 days after the hostages were taken.
Wow.
That's how long I've been watching this regime and how evil this regime is. Only a strong president, Ronald Reagan, the day he was sworn in is when they brought those hostages home. Donald Trump, we will watch this very closely, because if he says something, he's proved that they're paying attention.
Congressman Bost, is this moment in Iran different than all of the other moments leading up to it?
Yeah, because it's a uprising of the people to the level that they are, and now, because if we're going to get in with Starlink and all the other things. The sad thing is the rest of the world will be able to see in actual time how bad it is that this regime is when they start killing their own people. And the statement right now is there were 500. There's rumors as many as 2,000 that have already been killed. All because they stand up for their rights.
Do you hope that the United States gets involved in some way to protect these people?
I believe that the United States has no choice, doesn't have to put boots on the ground, but I don't believe the United States had. Remember, they weren't enforcing the sanctions before. Now all the sanctions are back on. And it was breaking the government. It's going to break the government this time, too. But also, the question is, what are the other things that are involved? Making sure they have internet, making sure Starlink and make sure the equipment has somehow got to them. And it needs to be a whole lot of a larger coalition than just the United States.
Congressman Mike Bost, it is always a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Big year. You got a lot of stuff to do here in January. We hope you'll stick with us.
Yes, we do.
Take care.
We do.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Really interesting perspective there on a host of things, but specifically the Iranian protesting situation right now. I heard a lot about the hostage situation coming out of Iran, specifically with the parallels that took place going into this election with the hostages in Gaza, the Hamas took out of October 7th. Gosh, this is why it's so important to know your history, because it sure does seem to repeat itself. And the quicker you forget your history, the faster it seems to repeat itself. Congressman Mike Bost, you can check out that interview on the Annie Fry Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from. We'll have that up a little bit later today. Great to talk to him. We'll be back in just a minute. You vote in the polls. Should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? Congressman Bost says he doesn't think we have a choice. You can comment on the Annie Fry YouTube channel when you vote. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
Listen to 97.1 today through Friday for your chance to win tickets to see Jimmy Fallon. Just listen for the sounder to play along with a phone number and be the ninth caller. You'll get tickets to see Jimmy Fallon January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield.
Hi, I'm your kid's old jeans. I've been in the drawer for a while and really missed the playground. You should swing by Goodwill and drop me off. Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. Plus, I can get back into the game. Donate today. Tag, you're it.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
St. Louis, laugh it up with Jimmy Fallon live at the Factory on January 24th. From national radio to sold-out comedy clubs, Jimmy delivers fast, fearless stand-up that hits home.
The only ones raising tough kids anymore. The redneck babies are going to take on ISIS. The hipster babies are going to battle the evil forces of gluten. You know what I'm saying?
Grab your friends and get ready for a night of laughs. One show, one night only. Don't miss Jimmy Fallon January 24th at the Factory. Get your tickets now at thefactorystl.com. That's thefactorystl.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
What do you think of when you hear this song?
I mean, I just think about Chuck Berry. Is it like a movie? Did you think of a movie? Pulp Fiction?
I think of a movie.
Yeah.
Is it Pulp Fiction?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Is this in Pulp Fiction?
No, but there's a Chuck Berry song in Pulp Fiction that every time I hear it, I think about that movie. It's not this one, though.
Yeah. Your kids are gonna love it. You guys aren't ready for that yet.
Oh, yeah, that is that song.
Yeah, the band member's on the phone with like George Berry.
Yeah.
Get your brother on the phone. Get your brother on the phone. You got to listen to this. So like Chuck Berry owes his entire career to Marty McFly.
That's right.
St. Louis connection, right?
Yeah. There's a statue of him down by Fitz's.
Chuck Berry's from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Berry it's a really good example of somebody who, like, if you hear a Chuck Berry song, you just know it's him.
Can I tell you a really interesting story about Chuck Berry?
Only if it's really interesting.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I don't even care if it's about Chuck Berry.
For a long time, when I worked in TV, a good friend of mine...
When you were in the industry?
When I was in the industry. But here in St. Louis, though. Not like L.A. or something. But
you can tell us the stories about being in the L.A. industry later.
Some other time, which
I'm pretty
never
sure,
was.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I could tell the stories.
I've been to L.A. for like 2 days. No, I worked with him for a long time, and he was just a friend, and he goes... Yeah, my stuff about my grandfather's been out there quite a bit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, about my grandpa. I'm like, no, I have no clue what you're talking about right now. He goes, my grandpa is Chuck Berry. I'm like, what? It'd be like one of you guys just telling me randomly, oh, yeah, my grandfather is a super famous rock musician.
Yeah.
And I had no clue. I'd known this guy for 2 or 3 years. And he goes, oh, yeah, you want to go to a show sometime? This was back when he was still alive, of course. And I said, heck yes, I do. So he got us in front row at the Duck Room. Sat there and watched Chuck Berry, 85 years old.
Okay, so where's the Duck Room?
In the basement of Blueberry Hill.
So how many different places, theaters, venues can you list that you've been in this area?
In St. Louis?
Yeah, because I've never been to Blueberry Hill. I've never been to the Duck Room. I've never been to Pops.
Oh, yeah, I've been to Pops.
There's all these places that have all the, I mean, these are storied places. This is like when people talk about St. Louis but we could just very easily, again, talk about the crime and how everything is downtrodden and like there's so much potential here. Like some investor needs to come here and just like blow this city up into what it could be. And there are a few obvious things that you do at the beginning, but like these stories of Blueberry Hill and the Duck Room and all of that. Can you think of other places that...
I used to see shows at a place that somebody in this area is going to go, oh, yeah, because it's not around anymore. It's called
Wild Country?
No.
Oh.
I never went there.
Even
though that was right down the street from me.
They might have had a brick there with my name on it.
I did not. I don't like country music, so it wasn't my jam.
Well, country music doesn't like you. And they'll write a sad song about it.
Has anybody ever been to the Creepy Crawl? Somebody text in 314-241-9797. It's gone. But I've been to another show just recently. The American Theater's now gone. The Pageant is still here. That's
Pageant's
awesome.
another one. Yeah,
Great
I've never
venue.
been.
That's a great venue.
I've been to the Factory, which is like the newest one of all of them. And I think the Factory is kind of this place that has been built up to be like a storied, historical kind of place, like that it could be in the future. But I've been to there, and I highly recommend going, but none of these other long storied places where Chuck Berry played in the basement.
Yeah, so the American Theater became the Orpheum for a while. Same place, just different name,
I
different
remember
ownership.
that name.
And then I don't think it's open at all now. But I saw Foo Fighters and Supergrass there in the 90s. And oh gosh, what unbelievable shows those were.
Were you a concert goer?
Not really, but
Ever?
when I went to my bands, I loved it. But if it was a band that I wasn't super familiar with, I just wasn't. I don't know.
Who were your bands?
I didn't show hop.
Foo
Well, I
Fighters?
just recently went to see Veruca Salt. That
Michelle
was one of
Branch?
them. Michelle Branch. Yeah, I love the.
We're running out of time for you to land the joke there, buddy. I know what you're doing.
Exactly what I was doing.
You short
I was
circuited,
trying to come
and
up
then
with-
what you did is you panicked. You're like, I gotta get a joke. It doesn't even have to be a good one, which is saying something. Are you okay?
No.
You've got like 4 minutes
I
to
did
think of
not
something
land
great
it.
when we come back in the 2 o'clock hour. No, you didn't. You did not stick the landing. We'll be right back.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Attention, Missouri baby boomers. The Give 5 program wants to connect you with volunteer opportunities that fit your skills and passions. Learn how you can lend a helping hand and bring positive change to those who need it most in just 5 hours a month. Signing up is easy. Just attend our next free class in your local community. Visit our website at MissouriGive5.org to find a class near you. Brought to you by Missouri Area Agencies on Aging.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The Fed chair isn't buying it. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Jerome Powell says a threat of criminal charges is really about the Fed's interest rate decisions.
Based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Some lawmakers also skeptical about a federal probe over renovations to Fed headquarters.
Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill say the investigation into cost overruns appears to be an act of intimidation. But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump did not order the Justice Department action.
One thing for sure, the president's made it quite clear, is Jerome Powell is bad at his job. As for whether or not Jerome Powell is a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find out. And it looks like they intend to find that out.
President Trump has criticized the policy decisions of the Fed board, especially the pace of interest rate cuts.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Republican Senator Tom Tillis says he'll block the president's Federal Reserve nominees until the matter is resolved. Senator Mark Kelly is now suing the Pentagon over efforts to punish him for his role in a video urging service members not to obey illegal orders. War Secretary Pete Hegseth censured the Arizona Democrat, calling it a process step to a possible demotion in retirement rank and pay. Kelly is a former Navy pilot. His lawsuit argues this is about protected free speech. The White House says President Trump stands with ICE as protesters oppose immigration enforcement operations.
They are actively trying to impede law enforcement operations and end the President Trump's mandate to deport illegal
criminals from our communities. Spokeswoman Caroline Levitt says more resources are being surged to Minneapolis after last week's deadly shooting of Renee Good. Homeland Security says she was using her car as a weapon. City and state officials say she was trying to drive away and that ICE resistance will continue. America is listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year, when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our temperature's pretty nice this afternoon. The southerly flow is back. Don't get used to this. Plenty of sunshine, 52 for the high, so it's warmer, but nothing weird. Tonight, clear and 39. On Tuesday, partly sunny, 58. Wednesday, clouds, some sun. It's colder, 44. Chilly to cold Thursday and Friday with a winter blast coming in for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and dig this, I am coming to the loo.
Call now to see Jimmy Fallon. 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797 to see Jimmy Fallon at the Factory on January 24th. Be the 9th caller now.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, 204. And y'all are lighting up the phones for those Jimmy Fallon tickets. He is at the Factory on January 24th. Can people go to 971talk.com/events to get a ticket link if they want to buy tickets?
Yes, they can.
What else can you tell us about it?
About the show?
Yeah.
I know that he's really excited about it, which is what you say. I mean, that's what you say when you're coming to a town. But Jimmy Fallon is a genuine dude, and he really likes St. Louis.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that anytime we ask him for, hey, can you send us a Christmas greeting? Hey, can you? He's like, yes.
How come you've never had him do an endorsement of this show?
He doesn't like it.
Oh.
He loves this station.
Jimmy!
He just...
What has Ryan Wiggins told you?
I told him...
Jimmy Fallon, I thought we were cool.
I told him, here's the problem. I told him, no, Annie's actually really cool off air.
Yep, off air. The good news about my work-life situation is that the person who hosts the show I'm on sucks. But off air, she's great.
I said, I know that what you listen to is what it is.
Oh.
But off air, it's great. And he's like, all right, I'll just have to take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he said he would do an endorsement once he felt comfortable with that.
You know what you need him to do? You need him to, in his Jimmy Fallon way, to create like a Mad Lib endorsement where he just leaves some things blank and then you can fill them in. And tell him what you're doing.
He'd do that
Oh,
too.
I know he would.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Or you could be the script and he could just throw some words out there for you to use.
Either way.
Both.
We could probably just do both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I want a Jimmy Fallon endorsement of the show. I don't care if he's sincere.
Oh, man. Now we got to do something like that.
Give me something here, Jimmy. You're coming to St. Louis on my husband's birthday. I'm taking Jared to the Jimmy Fallon show for his birthday. The pressure's on you, buddy. Send him that clip. And I'm not. You're great.
All right. 2:06 p.m. January 12th. All right, he's going to
I
get
see
that.
Mayor Jacob Fry on the television behind you. I just want to be the better Fry in the news. I hate getting Fox News headline updates to my phone that's like, it just says Fry, and then the headline's something really awful. I'm like, can we say Jacob?
It's got to be tough on you because
it's really tough on me. Thank you.
To beat him is not hard.
And yet, here we
are.
be.
Wait a minute.
Andy Fry.
The bar is low.
The second worst Fry in America.
You've done it. I mean, you have gotten there.
Oh, man. I want to say something about marrying into the family, but I have a great family, so I don't want to put them on the hook for that. So I love the Fry.
You dug a hole. Why don't you just keep going?
No. Let's talk about some Midwest McCarthyism. Have you seen Jenny McCarthy be out in the news a little bit more in the news? What do you know? What is the number one thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word Jenny McCarthy? Or
Singled out.
I was going to say, what are the top two things that come to mind?
No, I'm not going to go. I'm not taking that bait.
Jenny
Singled out, the game show.
Was that an MTV?
It was an
affair?
MTV game show.
And what was her role? She was the host.
She just kind of stood off to the side and she's like, anybody who looks at the newspaper when they're on the toilet, you're out.
I would say that the majority of Americans would say vaccines.
Ah, yes.
Or
other things.
She was anti-vaccine, but it was boiled down to her being anti-vaccine. That's not really what her position was.
But that's what people think of when Jim Carrey said it was cool.
That's what people would say about her. I love Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg. I'm just a wee bit too young to be like truly into the New Kids on the Block phase. That was just my sister was. My sister had the Comforter. And I think it really was the Donnie Wahlberg action figure. It was kind of like a Barbie. It was, you had the new kid on the block.
They were the full size too, weren't they?
It wasn't like Donnie Wahlberg size.
No, they weren't like the size of an adult human male.
You said it was full size.
I mean, it was like not a.
What are we?
It was not the size
here?
of a Ninja Turtle. It was the size of a full Barbie. Right?
Cannot believe that this is the measurement system with which you measure toys.
Full size.
Was it full size or was it Ninja Turtle?
Full size G.I. Joes were a thing.
A full size Ninja Turtle is the size of what?
A G.I. Joe.
Oh, God.
No, they're bigger.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger.
How big is
bulkier.
it? How big is a Ninja Turtle in
reality?
The reality.
I think they're about 4 foot.
Really?
Yeah, they're not quite adult human male.
But bigger than a normal turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were mutants.
They were mutants.
Yeah, obviously.
Covered in ooze.
But they're only teenagers.
Jenny McCarthy. Donnie Wahlberg. Jenny McCarthy is married to Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg's character on Blue Bloods, along with the entire show Blue Bloods, which I'm so sad was canceled, that is a slice of America. And I actually have to remind myself when I'm watching what stupidity is going on in New York City right now. And Mom Donnie is the mayor, and he's like kind of denigrated the police commissioner's position to not be as elevated as it was before. Now it's kind of like another just city government entity. I always want to know what the people from Blue Bloods would think about it. But I'm like, it was a show. But I think it was very much so based and rooted on reality. There's a lot of connection that existed in the production of Blue Bloods, which was all about the NYPD, but also about family and about principle and about right and about wrong, and understanding every episode was essentially a storyline in conflict of our justice system, from criminals to how you arrest criminals, how you prosecute criminals, if you prosecute criminals, how you manage a police department and everything. Really, really greatly insightful. But I'm always thinking about that. And Donnie Wahlberg's character is wonderful. I think he's got a spin-off show or something that he's now in because Blue Bloods quit. But Jenny McCarthy has been pretty quiet. They are Illinois residents. They
I
are,
didn't know that.
Yes. They are under the thumb of J.B. Pritzker.
They live out there in Sparta?
Why did you say Sparta?
I don't know.
I'm going to Sparta today.
Oh, that's odd. I didn't know that. No, I really didn't know that.
It's kind of creepy.
Well, Jenny McCarthy, say hi while you're there.
She's not in Sparta. I am going to be, and the basketball team is going to be.
Okay.
This is the most difficult it's ever been to talk about Jenny McCarthy, and it has nothing to do with her. Listen to her conversation with Katie Miller, who's Stephen Miller's wife. And my understanding is that these two women are very good friends. I think they're even business partners. Listen.
What do you think Hollywood gets right about Real America, and what do you think it gets wrong?
I think it gets everything wrong. I think there's nothing Hollywood gets right. This is why I moved back to the Midwest. I grew up in Chicago, Southside Chicago, went to LA. When my son turned 8, I was like, oh, hell no. I want him to go back to a place where kids ride their bikes till the light comes on. I want the lightning bugs to be caught.
Yes.
I want him to play in the fire hydrant. I want friends forever. And you don't get that in Hollywood. People don't know their neighbors at all. And so when you're counting on people to represent the Midwest or the Midwest mentality, the proof is just listening to the commentators, that they're shocked by certain stories.
So I think that Jenny McCarthy should run for governor. I would vote for her in a heartbeat. She's already articulated more understanding of the value of what exists here in the Midwest and what matters to people than J.B. Pritzker has ever been able to connect to. I mean, J.B. Pritzker does not understand at all what the people of Illinois want. Everything J.B. Pritzker does is based on his next step, what he wants to purchase next, what office he'd like to be in next. Of course, he wants to be the president of the United States. I've never heard anybody have a conversation about J.B. Pritzker in connection with the presidency that actually entertains the idea of what it would be like for President Pritzker to actually be a real thing.
That was weird to hear President Pritzker just now.
Yeah, I kind of choked. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
I'm really excited that Jenny McCarthy is out there talking with Katie Miller on the Katie Miller podcast, which is a great podcast. I encourage you guys to check it out. But talking to her about things outside of this little box that everybody has tried to put Jenny McCarthy in, because Jenny McCarthy is a mother who had some thoughts on particular issues. Like, if you're not thinking about the health care of your child and you're not asking questions, you ask questions because you don't necessarily know the answers. And what you're supposed to be able to do is ask those questions in an environment where people discuss what the answers are, and if there are disagreements, you make your case, you make your point. But Jenny McCarthy was somebody who said an unapproved thought, an unblessed thought at that day and time, and then she was supposed to be relegated to, just being like this kind of crazy loony person. When no, she was like every other mother that is out there looking at their children and looking at what the world is trying to do for them, to them, against them, and every time as a mother that you see the world, the government, the system, the community, the culture try to push out the parent from the position where you are invested in the full goodness for your child. You and your spouse are the only people in the world who would willfully run in front of a train to save the life of your child. Asking a question about a medical procedure, I mean, that's peanuts. But not to Jenny McCarthy. She lives in Illinois. Donnie Wahlberg lives in Illinois. Of course, they're going all over the country to do the things that are required for their jobs, but their home base is in the state of Illinois. And I love that she's there talking about it, and I love the fact that she has said specifically in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination that watching that whole situation unfold has thrust her fully into her faith.
That's cool.
It's incredible. And I don't want to take Jenny McCarthy, off the playing field and put her on the shelf on our side. That's not why she's doing this. That's the truth of the matter for the conservative, freedom-loving political right that's currently has the majority of influence in this country right now, per our last major election, is that the investment of the conservative right has to be in free thinking, in free living, in the idea that you're not going to rely on some sort of groupthink who's going to robot tell everybody this is how we talk, this is what we say, and this is what we don't say. That's really what it's about. Smaller government. And you can't have small government when you have fraud. The likes of Minnesota, which is probably all over the country, man. If you look at what President Trump has said he wants to do as far as investments, I think he said $1.5 trillion defense spending because he wants to have the most BA military that this world has ever known and seen. Mm-hmm. I am somebody who's like, how about 1.6 trillion? Because I don't know what I'm talking about. But you can't have those conversations and have a bazillion faux daycares across the entire country where these people are on the take constantly and nobody's even looking. Nobody's paying any attention to it. And if you dare go near it, it's racist. We are on the brink of a renaissance of what actual investment in America looks like, and it goes through the avenue of exposing and eliminating all of this fraud. And the whole end result of it is the American dream, which is what Jenny McCarthy just articulated. Staying out until the streetlights come on, chasing lightning bugs, knowing your neighbors. That's the most American thing I've heard somebody say, and it's from a celebrity who found her roots in the Midwest, which was an elevation for her, yet even in the state of Illinois, that American dream and that American ideal, it's about what she wants for her people, not about what she wants to lord over anybody else. That's the American dream. That's the whole point. And Jenny McCarthy, if singled out, is the one to bring it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Looking at you, Chris Hardwick. What are you doing for America?
I was just excited to see it. And I think it's a fresh, I don't need a celebrity to affirm my viewpoints. It's really refreshing, though, to hear a celebrity come out saying what we're all been saying all the time. And it's not really like, here's what you're going to do now. The finger wagging thing that you get from the famous people. It's not what they're doing. And I love it. Yay for Jenny McCarthy and life-size Donnie Wahlberg. Let's take a break. I don't even want you to add to it.
Oh.
You'll ruin it. Let's go to break. Ethan, Sports and Local next.
Got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. it awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
The raging rants of Ethan again.
Here he is
Back
again.
for a whole new week, baby.
All right.
They just keep on bringing me back.
That's
I don't know what's wrong with them.
the energy we need on a Monday.
Well, I'm picking up the same energy that I put down on Friday. Because there was one heck of a story that we talked about on Friday. It's not very often that here in St. Louis we get stories like this, but when we do, we have to hold on to them. We have to stretch them out for as long as we possibly can. On Friday, I talked about there being monkeys on the loose in North St. Louis.
I remember.
These
the talk of the town.
Not only are these monkeys still on the loose, but a goat has joined them.
Really?
Yes.
A goat?
There is now a goat also on the loose. A pet goat that has a collar. Have you guys
With
seen
the
this?
monkeys?
I was keeping up with this
Is
all
it really
weekend.
traveling with the
No,
monkeys?
it's not with them.
The
but
monkeys are riding him in
There
the battle.
also happens to be a goat on the loose in North St. Louis now.
That's great. I like where this
I don't
is
know
headed.
if it's great.
Oh, no, it is. Trust me. This is great for our city.
Nature is healing.
Listen, all I'm going to say is most of the time I pull from all the local news networks to, figure out what I'm going to discuss. And today I had the option of the New York Times, BBC, and some of the more national ones, which you don't have that happening for good reasons in St. Louis very often. But when monkeys are on the loose, no, that is a good reason. So yes, they are still trying to find these multiple monkeys, and social media was having their fun with this. I'm not sure if it hit your guys' Twitter feeds. It certainly did mine. Mine is very much so trained to show me what I like, and apparently I like memes. And there was a lot of AI and photoshopped monkeys just everywhere in St. Louis. I saw them at the Arch. I saw them at Busch Stadium. I saw monkeys everywhere this weekend, including with Cardinals field reporter Jim Hayes. Saw a lot of Jim Hayes with these monkeys.
Did you see any of the actual pictures?
Yes.
Because the
Well, I
pictures
think that I
are...
did.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are too. They're from news sources. They're weird looking because it's just like a random...
Because they're monkeys?
...shot of a St. Louis town or a street somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's just a monkey like standing there on its hind legs.
What do you
looking
want
around
it to do,
like a
tricks?
prairie dog, yeah. I want it to be swinging around on the telephone poles.
There's
and
no
stuff.
organ grinder guy making it dance.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
A
How's it eating?
A primate expert from the St. Louis Zoo.
It's not Ryan, is it?
Is it?
You a primate expert?
I did an interview.
I don't know if that makes you an expert or not. Primate reporter. Call you primate reporter. Has identified these to be vervet monkeys, which are small monkeys that are native to Africa with pale fur and black faces.
North St. Louis.
And North St. Louis.
What are the odds?
Wow.
I genuinely could not tell you. We don't have a lot of information on the goat.
We don't have a lot of information on the monkeys
How
either,
do
to
we
be
not-
honest.
How do we not have information on the goat, yet we know it's wearing a collar?
Because in the picture that went out, someone just happened to probably see a goat wandering down the street, and they said, "I'm gonna take a picture of that
But, I mean,
and post it."
Can people have domesticated goats in North City?
Well, they are not exotic like the monkeys are, so I would
milk a
assume
goat.
that you probably could. I have a little bit of information on the person that shared this information. Her name was Aaliyah the Stallions. kind of like Megan
Aaliyah
the
the
Stallion.
Aaliyah the Stallion.
Yeah, Aaliyah the Stallion. So, Aaliyah the Stallions, thank you for posting on Facebook on Saturday
don't
about the
even
black and
know-
white goat on the run.
What words we're talking about right now?
She's a local influencer in her own mind. She let a goat go.
She's not a stallion. There is not a stallion on the loose. Just
Yet.
want to make that clear. Just
Yet.
a goat and 4 monkeys.
You
What?
can't milk that.
What? I'm not going to say the line. Of all the people in this room, I'm not going to say
That's
the
a
line.
bull.
What's the next animal that we locate on the streets? What's your money?
Stallion. Has to be a stallion, right?
A Clydesdale.
That one has to be up there on the betting odds.
Is a stallion a kind of horse, or is it what quantifies a stallion?
It runs super fast and is free.
Also, stallion expert Ryan Williams.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Beat
If
me
I,
to it.
if I ever got a stallion, you know what I'm naming that thing, right?
Megan?
Yeah, Megan.
Or Aaliyah.
Now, I don't know now.
Okay. It's an adult male horse.
So,
But it's also free, and its mane is beautiful.
typically valued for breeding due to its reproductive capabilities and strong genetics, often displaying a more muscular build and cresty neck.
It's the Fabio of horses.
Crusty.
Cresty,
Cresty?
cresty neck.
Like the clown?
Then cresty.
No, like you put a crest, like you on a
Oh,
on
like
a
the
nice
toothpaste.
on a nice jacket.
I don't
crest.
think that's it either. Then mares are geldings. And while the term usually refers to horses, it can describe stud males in other species like dogs or sheep.
Right, I didn't know you were a
So
stallion.
Megan should have been a gelding, not a stallion.
Gelding.
You know who else was a wild stallion?
I don't think
Alex
you do
Winter
either. What?
What?
And Keanu Reeves.
Why'd you look at the television when you did that?
There's a dog up there. Had nothing to do with the story.
How do you define a pony?
It's got to be pink, beautiful, kind of catchy. Has a good hook.
Anything about size? Aren't they usually smaller ponies?
Shetlands are, and you know I love me a Shetland.
A pony is a horse of a small breed, especially one whose height at the withers. Man, there's just a lot of show content today that I'm saying and not understanding. Is below 14 hands 2 inches, 58 inches tall. I thought
That's a lot
until
of people
maybe
you got to get together to measure a horse.
5, just 7.
As long as they both have 2 hands.
I thought until maybe the last few years that a pony was like a baby horse. But a pony can be an adult horse. It's just the size of a horse. My husband has this look on his face when I say something really dumb. But he doesn't want to tell me, Annie, you're really dumb right now. But he does with his face.
I promise you haven't done that in this segment.
Well, the problem with the face is that he's trying not to say it, but he's really saying more with the look on his face, but then he tries to kind of soften the blow. But the pony situation, that and when I thought sloths were extinct, and found out a few years ago that the AI video of a sloth that I thought was really, really accurate, realistic looking, was actually a real sloth that was in fact not extinct.
Do you think a sloth would get real afraid if you put it on a horse and just smacked it on the butt and said, "Run"?
I don't know. Sloths always look
You
pretty
slapping the
chill and
sloth
happy.
or the horse on the butt?
The horse.
Got it.
The horse is running fast.
Okay, got it.
Sloths are slow.
Got it.
So I would wonder if it would be afraid.
Got it.
I
Even
think
if
it
had
would
a saddle.
really
Thank
just
you.
end up being average.
Just overall, as some animal that was a mix between
Yeah.
the sloth and the horse.
A stallion.
We will keep you updated
Thank you.
on this story during
That was a whole
Sports and
segment.
Local in upcoming days. If anything comes out on this, just know that the first place that you will hear information about it will be right here on the Annie Fry Show. Because that's what we do.
Do
We bring
not
you
stop
hard-hitting
reporting
news.
on this.
At least from
Every
the
day.
industry. Do you have any other sports and local?
I would gladly bring you more Sports and Local. ILL.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It's a good weekend for the Illinois Fighting Illini, the 16th ranked team in the country. Top 25 showdown against Iowa, and they came out on top, 75-69, the final score. And they just keep on.
A 1-possession game within 60 seconds to go in the game, so it was a fun one to watch.
Yeah. And so hopefully they can continue trending in the right direction. They took the lead early, and they did not look back. I believe they had the lead the entire game.
Mizzou looking? I have no idea. Are they bouncing back or?
Mizzou bounced back following the ugly loss against Illinois. They had 2 very good conference wins to start off the year. They beat ranked Florida that won the national championship last year, and then they beat Kentucky on the road for the first time in program history. They had a bad loss this weekend. They lost against Ole Miss. I know, right? They lost against Ole Miss, though, this weekend. It was pretty close, but yeah, certainly did not
Could Mizzou
continue.
make the tournament?
They certainly could. There's a lot of time left. There's a lot of conference play left. But they would need to start trending in a better direction than the start of the season has. SLU also won this weekend. They had another good win, and they are now
going to make the tournament?
15-1. I would be shocked. I mean, it would be an epic collapse if SLU did not make it to the NCAA tournament. 15-1. Keep that in mind, Annie, because who knows when that will pop up on an X's and O's.
Oh, it won't now because you said that. Thank you.
I don't know.
And because we're not playing Friday.
Oh, yeah, I have to tell you about that.
Oh, are we playing Friday?
I don't know.
They'll be 16-1 by then.
I'll tell you Thursday.
Yeah.
So just keep this in mind.
Thanks.
15-1 right now, Annie. What's their record?
15-1.
Good job.
Not so bad over there, Billikens. All right, let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll: should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people that are protesting? Yes or no? If you've got thoughts on this, if you want to vote, you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote in the poll that's located in the live broadcast's live chat. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be right back.
Aching with some nameless need. Is there something wrong and you can't put your finger on it? Right then, roll to me. And I don't think I have ever seen a soul so in despair. So if you want to talk the night through, guess who will be there?
AirComfortService.com is the website. You can call 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and have Air Comfort Service come out 24/7. They provide emergency call service. You find yourself with no heat or maybe no hot water this year, you got to have someone come out that's going to be able to fix it right the first time. Somebody who is trustworthy, who has the review after review after review. And like we could talk about the awards that they have stacked up at Air Comfort Service that prove that you are going to get what you pay for at Air Comfort Service, which is quality service and kindness, respect for your home, and respect for your comfort zone. Your comfort zone can be made up of a lot of different things. Of course, it's the temperature of the air, it's the humidity of the air, it's the purity of the air. Air Comfort Service has you covered on all fronts. So reach out to them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. And talk to Air Comfort Service about how they can help you get into your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So that every day you're with me, I keep you close to my heart. Give me one more kiss before the boys arrive. Nashville to San Francisco is a hell of a drive, but don't worry, the Lord is good when the road is
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. A lot of talk, of course, on the home front of homesteading. A lot of people are making their own sourdough bread. A lot of people try to, grow fruits and vegetables at home. Do you guys do any of that?
No. We like people.
Universal hot craze.
Sorry, for later. What?
Well, I guess if it's not that important, I guess it doesn't matter.
I'll wait. Do you guys do any of that?
We don't really. We have an apple tree in our backyard, but
Did you put it there?
No, we got it with the house.
Do you feed the deer with it?
Yeah, we do.
Do you eat any of the apples?
We used to. It's not really producing much anymore because we haven't taken care of it. So no is the answer to the question.
So I don't know that your apple tree is really helping you out in this conversation.
That's the closest thing I can tell you.
Do you think it would be fun or cool to do that? In my mind, it's something I really want to do. My husband likes to garden and he cooks a lot. So he would love to do that. Our home doesn't really, we don't have any space to put a garden that gets enough sun to do a whole lot of that. But I always think in my mind, I really want to. You don't have, so.
Well, if I had more time, I would still not do it.
Yeah. What about going to the local market?
I would do that more. I'd go down to Soulard on the weekends. We used to do that when our kids were little. We'd
Does
go down there.
have one?
We have a farmer's market, but it's not real big.
You ever been to the Edwardsville Farmer's Market? It's fantastic.
Oh, you're talking about people put up booths and stuff.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Going to
There's
people's backyards, picking their produce?
I'm talking about seeing if there's any carrots.
The deer do it in my yard. Why can't I do it in yours?
Right. No, I've been to the Edwardsville one maybe once, but it was a while ago. I do like farmers markets a lot, though.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. That's to me, I have to tell myself, if I don't have time to cultivate all this, people initially, you kind of can get into it for the wrong reasons, to save money. But the amount of time, and you have to invest a little money into creating a situation where you can have a functioning garden. At the end of the day, you're thinking, how much money did I save to grow this tomato myself? And it's like a money in, money out relationship is not really that persuasive.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that you grew this thing out of the soil and it didn't get in the hands of all the chemicals and all the preservatives and stuff that exist for a lot of the produce that you can get, that's really definitely beneficial. Do you guys do anything, Brad? Do you any homegrown?
Our lot isn't big enough to do it, but my dad has a pretty substantial sized garden, and so he always grows more than what he can keep, and so he gives that to us. The other thing that we do is we make our own bread, not sourdough, just regular bread in a bread machine, but
that's worth it.
We make our own bread, and it's delicious.
Homemade bread is so good.
It is so good. It's actually pretty easy. We used to have a bread maker. Bread makers were super popular in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It was an appliance that everybody had, and the bread that comes out of there is so good, especially when you take it right out of the machine and you eat it right there. I really want to do sourdough. My husband's like, absolutely not.
When I first got married, I used to make beer bread once in a while.
Oh, yeah?
And that was the only thing I would ever make.
Was it out of a box?
No, it was just,
scratch?
I knew how to make it. And so that was the one thing I did.
Can you still make it?
Probably.
Can you make us some?
Mm-hmm.
No.
What?
Come on.
Brad says yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
In fact.
No, you got to eat it while it's hot.
As
you
the
guys aren't at
producer
my
of the Annie
house.
Fry Show.
No, that's not true. You can make it out in the oven outside.
I'm not going to do that. I got too much darn work to do here.
I'll let you off the hook for an hour.
You're going to do all my work?
You're sitting in here for an hour, and you
cannot
cannot
just
sit in
go
here for an hour.
out there and make bread?
Yes.
I might do that.
You can live stream it.
Yep.
You can be on the live stream out there. I'll get you an apron.
Give me an apron and a nice dress.
I have a chef's hat that has Mickey ears on it. You can wear that.
Said a nice
Seems like
dress.
a little much.
Why do you need a dress? Is that a lady's job?
Maybe. I don't know. Can a man not wear a dress, Annie?
I think that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Well, I think we've come to our conclusion then.
Ryan, which of your dresses are you going to wear? The red one or the blue one?
I said I need a dress. I didn't say I have a dress.
Don't lie to the people.
I'm going to have to go get a dress.
Fine. You go get a dress. We'll allow you to wear it while you bake the bread. I think that's a good talk.
You got to be careful because I'm going to get something a little low cut for the live stream.
Yeah, this is going to be a trip. Beer bread. We want some. Will you
Okay.
do it?
Next time I go to the grocery store, I will try to remember to get the ingredients.
We're going to have Hans von Spakovsky on here explaining the Supreme Court ruling on men and women's sports and you're going to be in a dress
as long
making
as he can't,
beer bread.
As long as he can't see it.
Just as long as after you pour the beer into the mix, you crush the can on your head.
No, that's crude.
Why don't you just go find a real man in the office and crush the can on his head? Hey, Ranji, come here. I need you for a minute. He'd do it. You know he would.
We crushed this on your face.
Okay, when we come back, I got approval from our boss, Steve, to air this video. So if you have problems with it, you can contact him.
Oh,
Have you seen the video that articulates the hotness to crazy scale for women?
No.
Okay, well, the science on the Annie Fry Show next.
But when the days go long, she's alright.
Stewart's American Mortgage. There's a lot of news right now about mortgage rates and what the administration's trying to do to make housing more affordable. I highly encourage you to contact Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage right now to ensure that you have him, you've talked to him, you understand why the bagel loan is the key to making a really smart financial decision with your next mortgage purchase. Brand new mortgage on a brand new house. Mortgage refinance on your current house, maybe a cash out refinance on your current house. If rates come down, okay, great. But when you use the bagel loan, you pay $0 in closing costs. If the market starts to pick up a little bit, if houses start to move a little bit faster, you're going to want to have all of this stuff already taken care of. And you need a guy like Stewie who you can trust at Stewart's American Mortgage to help you navigate the system. The sooner you get in contact with him, the better. Just because you call him or text him today doesn't mean that you're getting your new mortgage tomorrow, although he does have an incredibly less than 2-week turnaround if that's the path that you're on. Reach out to him at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting, yes or no? Let us know. I understand that this is a pretty close poll, so we'll find out the results here in the next segment at the end of the hour with Mark Reardon coming in next, 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube poll for today, should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting, yes or no? We've got one response in the 50s and one response in the 40s. So if you want to have your voice weighed in here, go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live there. You can cast your vote, leave a comment if you so choose. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. Joe comments on the poll, nope, too muddy. Fair enough. All right. So I came across this video and I needed to know what you guys thought about this. Now, I will, after we're going to walk through this video, I'm going to start and stop it so we can comment, so you guys can tell me if you need me to pause it. But basically, there is a man who kind of looks like the character Steve Carell plays in The Office. He's in like khakis, belt, white shirt, tie. He's got a pen in his pocket.
He looks like Michael Scott.
He is that Michael Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Scott is Steve Carell's character? I thought he was the glasses character. I've never seen it. I've tried. I can't do it. But this guy is here, and he is trying to explain how men should understand women, like who's marryable, who's dateable. He's just trying to explain women to men. And I know that we do a lot of X's and O's talk here, and we are very much so in favor of understanding and delineating the two sexes, men and women. So this guy out there right now, I need to know, should I show this to my son?
So far, I would say yes.
My son is, so far there's no nudity. It's just a man in a nice work business attire.
With a dry erase board.
Is this a well-articulated explanation that every 16-year-old boy, is this the way to explain to them, this is what you need?
The universal hot crazy matrix, it's everything a young man needs to know about women. I've developed this on my own over 46 years of living on the earth. Hot is, as usual, measured from 0 to 10. Crazy is measured from 4 to 10 because, of course, there's no such thing as a woman who's not at least a 4 crazy. This is your hot crazy line right here. Very important that you keep in mind where the hot crazy line is. This is your no-go zone. We do not hang around and marry women who are not, at least in our mind, a 5. We just rule this out. Life is better this way. This is your fun zone.
So he breaks it down that on the hot scale, 0 to 5. He says if you're not at least a 5 hot, and you notice how he says there in our minds? Everybody's definition of what a 5 is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that someone has to be at least a 5 hot, that still includes a lot of women. Correct?
Yeah.
Because it's all subjective.
Yes, but they're, if you're a 1 or a 2, I think most people are going to agree on that. So there is some objectivity to it.
Do men, I know that you're not like automatically like, I don't know because I'm not one, but you're not like you don't have like a catalog of every woman you've met and their rating scale. No. Is it a shared Google sheet?
No.
It's just for reference?
It's not something you'd ever share.
No.
Is it normal for you to assess? I mean, you guys are both married right now, but Ryan, like, do men, you can speak for all of men, do men assess the attractiveness of women regardless?
Yes.
It's kind of like a default setting.
So he's saying that if you're below a 5, it doesn't matter if you're more crazy, if you're completely a 10 on the crazy scale or a 0. If you're below 5 on the attractive scale, it's a no-go zone.
You want to move out of the fun zone to a more permanent location.
Fun zone is a hot between 5 and 8.
Yeah.
And below probably like a 7, 8.
See, I don't
crazy.
I don't understand why that would be the fun zone. That seems like the magic zone.
Above the crazy line, we have the danger zone. This is your redheads, your strippers, anyone named Tiffany, hairdressers. This is where your car gets keyed, you get a bunny in the pot, tires get slashed, and you wind up in jail. At this point, understand something. Any woman that you have previously located on this chart can vanish from that location and appear anywhere else on the chart. Above an 8 hot, about a 7 crazy. This is your date zone. These are women that you introduce to your friends and your family. Reasonably not crazy most of the time. Now,
all the caveats here. It's like this is the science, but all of the science can change on a dime.
Above an 8 hot and between about a 7 and a 5 crazy, this is your wife zone.
Okay.
This zone is not scaled to size. Below a 5 crazy and above an 8 hot, this is your unicorn zone. These things don't exist.
Yeah.
If you find a unicorn, please capture it safely, keep it alive. We'd like to study it and maybe look at how to replicate that.
Yeah.
I was explaining this to a guy one time, and he said, wait a minute. I met this girl, and she's like smoking hot. She's like at least a 9. And she's chill. She's totally cool. I said, you should be careful. That's a dude. You're talking to a tranny. Down here, below a 4 crazy and above an 8 hot, you're probably talking to a dude. For the women.
So, okay. Any lies detected here?
No.
So basically he was saying throughout the course of this that if you're over a 5 hot, you're in the game. If you're over a 7 crazy, it's dicey.
Mm-hmm.
You have to increase the hotness with the crazy.
Or decrease the crazy.
Look, here's the problem. The only problem I'm seeing with this right now is that, well, you're right first about the subjectivity of what a 5 is.
Yeah.
That is true. But there's a lot of guys who would take the fun zone and apply that to all women.
Well, I think what he's
you
trying
have to be above a 5.
But what he's saying here, and to my question as well, do I show this to my son and be like, here are some graphs and charts for your future here? He's saying this is what all young men need to know about women. And
Okay.
I don't know that I, as a woman, other than emulating the priorities that I want him to, priorities you want him to prioritize in the future, but having principles, faith, and family, and hard work and all of that stuff. I don't know that I can tell him. I don't think mom can tell son.
That's what I was going to say.
Here's what you're looking for.
If your question is, should you show this to your son? The answer is no, you cannot. Jared might be able to get away with showing this to Charlie at some point.
I think don't you think a dad can guide a son in the whispers, okay, here women are a little crazy.
Yes.
I think this is a father-son conversation that can happen. If a son gets this from his mother and it's a man explaining that all women are crazy to some extent, does it alleviate some of the I can't tell him who to go out there and find.
Does it alleviate some of the what? The concern?
I want to guide my son in all ways that I can. And I know that a mother can step into those situations from time to time and by virtue of being present in the conversation, hurt her cause.
I'm going to give so there's a lot of ways I could give some really good Christian advice here. I'm not going to do that.
We know that. I got a little more of the clip and we've run out of time.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that if you can find a woman who, especially when you're a young man, maybe a little bit older even, if you can find a woman who got hot later.
So she doesn't know it.
So she doesn't really know what she's
They call
got.
them the ugly duckling syndrome.
Well, that's terrible.
I didn't even know there's a name for it. But I would say that's a good place to be.
All right. Now, the follow-up question here is the converse and whether or not he has a scale for men.
For the women watching, is there a male version of that?
Yeah, it's a little simpler, but we can do it real quick. It doesn't take very long at all. You got your cute axis and you got your money axis, okay? Women have a very large no-go zone. This is for dudes who are neither hot nor have a lot of money. This is the husband section. Once you cross a line and have sufficient amounts of money, it is no longer relevant how hot you are. And women have a fun zone here where a dude is broke but hot. That is the cute versus rich matrix for women.
Okay. Thoughts on that?
That is 100% true.
Yes.
Except one caveat. If he's broke and ugly but can rock a mic or a guitar.
But there is an implication there if he's really good at it that maybe the relationship to the ugly duckling system is also applicable here, which is he will be rich and famous.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But if you that's the one way that you can circumvent that chart is by being awesome on stage somehow.
I don't know, really.
But generally that is 100% true.
But I mean that's got to be fun zone territory. That's only fun zone territory.
Sure, and that's what I mean.
That's not the zero cute.
No, you're not marrying
plus
that guy.
money.
No, that's the 21-year-old looking for a good time.
I don't know if that's happening with. Are there zeros that get on stage and? I mean, by virtue of what they're doing, they're not a zero.
Heck, yes, there are.
According to you, they're guys you would not consider attractive?
I look at that guy and I go, that guy is ugly, but he is a decent singer.
Are you jealous of him?
Yeah.
Should the United States do anything to protect the Iranian people protesting? Yes or no? Brad, your thoughts?
Yes, but short of military intervention.
No boots on the ground.
No boots.
Ryan?
No, I don't think that we should intervene.
I think, yes, I think provisions of Starlink and stuff like that are beneficial, but I think we're all going, let's not be sending people over here to sort things out. They're going to have to do that themselves. But it is amazing to see the Iranian people standing up, but it's also very tragic. And if you look at what I think it was Katie Pavlich, or maybe it was Congressman Bost was saying earlier in the show, once the truth gets out here of what's actually taking place, the truth is going to be very difficult to see. 57% say yes. Reardon, coming up next. Don't go away.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
If you're not into dry January, why not pursue a no-spend January instead?
A great way to get the year started.
Shane Gornick of Forefront Financial Planning says both January challenges allow you to reset after the fun and frivolity of the holidays. Plus, it can get you into the habit of setting a budget.
Having a no-spend January is great at kind of figuring out what your baseline is.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a